I like that.
What's
twist.
up? This is the start. We have Billy, my sponsor, and Chris.
No,
Ian.
Yeah. Okay, we got Ian and Billy and Alex over there. Alex brought his friend Ian over, who grew up with Alex in Detroit. But yeah. Yeah, I think this CBD's got me kind of off, dude.
Really?
I gotta be honest with you. I just got me like in my head a little bit. It's like it's just playing with different addiction. Like it's like kind of tickling my addiction thing. That part of my mind that's just kind of, I'm running with it a little bit, you know. But I don't know.
Well, can you just not do as much? Or is that even possible?
No, I mean, like, my mind is running with it. Like, if I don't feel it, I'm thinking about the fact that I'm not feeling it. And then if I am feeling it, I'm like just overthinking shit. And I don't know. It's probably whatever. I'm not really hungry. I'm not really eating. But I'm sure it'll run its course, you know. I just gave Billy like 2 full vial. Like, I'm trying to get Billy to feel what I'm feeling.
I don't feel anything, but it's like the new sober drug, right? Everyone's, well, not everybody, but
Rob brought up the fact that he's doing it. Did I tell you that? He called me? Mm-hmm. I did tell you?
You did tell me, yeah.
Yeah, Rob's a friend of ours from Primetime, this AA meeting we go to, who I always love hearing him share, and I've always thought, like, oh, wow, he should be the sober companion. That'd be so cool. We're trying to make a movie about a sober companion. So, Ian, what's your story?
Well,
Bullet points. Just so people know who the fuck you are. He has a beard, a nose ring.
Got a beard.
Cool rings.
I got some rings.
Some Nikes.
Some Nikes. Got some ink, but I'm working on getting
some
more.
super mellow, like, tattoos, like, on his hands and shit. Some cherries. But you're from
from Oak Park, just outside Detroit.
Oh shit! I just said Oak. I was like thinking Oakland. I don't know why. Baltimore, because I'm watching The Wire. I don't know. Oak Park we're basically in Oak Park.
We're in Oak Park.
But it's a different Oak Park.
Outside Calabasas, or where are we?
It's a really different Oak Park.
Yeah, way different.
And then you came out here when you were how old?
So I came out here when I was 27 or 28-ish. I lived in Chicago for 10 years, though. I moved there when I was 18. Lived there for a long-ass time. And then after being a EDM DJ for 6 years and touring. And
what was the name of your...
I used to go by Elfkowitz. I toured with a lot of like dubstep DJs and... You know,
like Brills?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I played a show with him years
ago. Do you know Brills, though?
I mean, like, we played a show together years ago.
Have you heard of Hypercrush?
From Alex, yeah.
But not before that?
No.
Porter Robinson, Benny Benassi.
Yeah, I know those guys.
You heard of Math? This was another project I was in, and Benny and Porter were playing our single Fuck. It was kind of cool.
Oh, word.
Those are like, you know, I feel like it was a tastemaker project on some level. Like, it was not like mainstream. It was very dark and aggressive, and it was definitely a really cool thing to have those guys playing it. And then it just fucking died pretty much because Steve started working on Overlord shit and just started working out, and it's hard to find the time to put in the kind of work it takes to succeed in that world.
I feel that. Yeah,
But you said an EDM DJ. What is that?
So
electronic dance music.
Yeah, electronic.
Oh, okay.
And like, so I did like the like chill, melodic electronic hip hop stuff. It's called glitch hop. That's like what I did. So like, they'd bring me out to go open up for like, you know, the big dubstep guys, because I can set the tone but not be too hype for the like headliner. They're like, oh yeah, like come in, you know, play your stuff, but don't go too crazy because Datsic's about to play or something, and like we want the crowd to have all their energy for him.
That's crazy. Is that they actually say that? Pull something up. You got any videos on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm sure there's videos.
Like, what would be the best?
Dubstep's sort of
my
like
old
reggae
stuff?
based.
From my
Just anything.
EDM days.
Just let me just hear something.
You gotta work on that short with Taylor too, like a short. Like,
Oh yeah.
How you doing, Billy?
Good. Like you got me all psyched out now. Now I don't know if I'm psychosomatic or
So here's my.
if it's for real or what.
Well, you'll know when you start thinking like Taylor Bennett.
Yeah,
Isn't that like a big?
he's Chance's brother. I've done a lot of music with Taylor.
Oh, it's like this isn't EDM.
Well, no, I retired from EDM, and then I changed my name to Ludlow, and I started making hip hop and R&B. But it's got some EDM vibes, you know.
It's a cool beat.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had someone in here. I've had people in here before show me stuff that was not that cool, and then you say, "Yeah, just keep at it, bro."
Yeah.
Like this is actually like this beat was sick. I mean, it sounds like some current shit. The way he's rapping, why can I not like top tracks? There's one.
Oh, I only have one track, because the other ones are shared
why.
tracks that other people have put out.
Okay,
like
whatever.
I worked with Cash Doll recently. It's all on her page. And Taylor is on her page.
Bennett.
Taylor Bennett.
So that's
Chance's brother, yeah, and
Straight up.
now his manager, yeah, too.
How old? Is he older or younger?
Younger. He's younger. Chance is like 26 right now, maybe 20. No, I think he's 26ish, and Taylor's 23.
And Taylor's 23 years old, managing his 26
him and his dad managed Chance, and then they got a third manager. But yeah,
Can I ask a really dumb question?
sure.
So a DJ, do you actually create music on the spot? Is that what's going on, or do you have some pre-recorded thing and you're adding?
What you just heard is a beat he made.
But
Yeah, so-
he spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
But when you're DJing, do you just get up there and play stuff you've made and pre-recorded, or do you kind of ad-lib on the spot? Or
So the way I played, I used to use Ableton Live when I'd play, and I would take some tracks and that I all made myself, and I would separate
Just
them.
speak like into the mic. I mean, you don't need to go that crazy, but just kind of.
I would separate them into like drum track, bass track, synth track, vocal track, or whatever. And then as I was playing, I would bring in one by one, and depending on the vibe of what was going on, I might take in the vocals and do extra edits with them or whatever.
Edits on the spot.
Yeah, like beat repeats and reverses.
So you kind of play with those 4 or 5.
And then so you can repeat it, and then when you stop doing what you're doing, it goes back to where it's supposed to be in the song.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about Ableton is you can isolate each individual thing and not lose your place in the song, where if you were doing it like fucking the OG way on turntables, like if you like go like that, like that's the song is stopping and moving, and you better find your way again. Like Ableton has made it really easy to. That's cool that you were doing that. I mean,
yeah. Well, depending on,
but also, dude, other artists will like Daft Punk will like do full on like remixes, and they'll mix. Justice will mix songs that wouldn't normally be mixed, but they're making them work together. And whether or not it's on the fly or they pre-mixed it before they came out, it's like a show. It's like a different. You're gonna hear shit you haven't heard before in a way that is like conducive to like a live environment with like a lot of people and the lights shows. And
My thing is, I mean, I just don't even really know what a DJ does. That's why I was asking. But I guess they all have their own thing they do.
Well, yeah, there's a mixture nowadays. You know, like there's DJs that will do what I was explaining, or there's DJs will go up with turntables and do, you know, crazy stuff together, or they'll just go up and beat match, or have even a pre-made totally set that they just press play on and they'll just dance.
I mean, like, here's the thing about like a disc jockey or a DJ or what's another, you know, like, you know, you can play whatever you want. Like, you can go into like a Metallica song.
Yeah.
Like, a dope DJ is like playing shit that is like playing shit all over the board, you know, and making it all work. Like, to be able to present any kind of music or any song and then go into a totally different genre and make it work in the dance. Like, there's a real, like, DJ AM was really cool how he was able to do that. Like, so there's so many different ways.
Okay.
A DJ.
I got a better idea right now.
There's so many different ways, you know, and then some super OG like trance, like drum and bass DJs will just, it almost seems like boring, but it's so, they're matching shit and mixing it in and out, and you don't even notice that like songs are changing. It's just this like fluid, like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Have you ever heard of Telephone Tel Aviv?
I've heard. I mean, that like rings a bell.
They're like pretty old. It was a duo, and one of them committed suicide years back, like 10 years ago or something like that. But they make music all from using guitar pad, stomp pad, repeat pads, and all that stuff. And then they'll have like a keyboard and a drum machine or whatever, and they just have like a table that's like the size of this coffee table right here, and it's just got a bunch of different stuff on it, and they just play the stuff, hit those shit with their hands.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest show ever, and it's beautiful, like beautiful music.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, what someone is doing, I guess it seems like a lot of people that aren't a part of that culture are super concerned with that. And that's kind of the questions they always ask. But does it really matter? Like, Prodigy, I've seen Prodigy and Liam Howlett's like back there behind a fucking wall of keyboards, and he might not be doing anything.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, I've seen footage of Justice like playing shit, and it's unplugged.
And it's not plugged
in.
Well,
that's I guess that's sort of a famous meme that.
But no, I was at a show in Chicago, sitting front row where they did that, and I was like, what's happening here? Why are they not plugged in? And nobody cares.
You know what? It's like, and does it really matter? Like, no. They made those fucking songs, and they're fucking dope.
That's what matters to me. If you made the songs,
I mean, but honestly, like, AM didn't make shit. But he just fucking played.
But he
like,
was curating the show.
The
like
dopest shit, and he mixed the dopest shit. So there's just so many different ways of looking at what a DJ is and what a DJ does, and their talent and skill. And I think a good DJ just has really good taste. You know, a very specific taste. Sure. You know, and the producer / DJ has become more popular and more prominent.
Wait a minute, now you're calling it a producer?
Well, most DJs nowadays are producers,
meaning they produce the music and the beats.
Yeah, they'll make the majority of, or hopefully a lot of what they're playing.
And if they didn't, they are now.
Yeah,
because that's the standard for. I mean, I remember Aoki wasn't. If AM was still alive, I know he'd be like making music. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of DJs start out. I don't even think Tiesto was producing in the beginning. He was just like a DJ, like the biggest DJ in the world. But he has good taste. He knows what works. He got in the studio with an engineer. He started producing, and now he's like, I don't really know what. Has he even put out an album?
I mean, not to my knowledge.
Hold on a second. Just hold on one fucking second right now, okay? Because this is very interesting. This DJ, Tiesto, okay, he's one of the biggest, he's probably one of the highest paid musicians in the world.
Yeah, last I checked, he was second.
And he does the same thing that he does. And I do. And we don't even know if he's put an album out. That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
It's like I don't think people realize how much shit has changed, you know?
And how much shit there just is there.
Because like this fool is just, you know, he's built something so his brand is so much equity in just like rocking parties and just being this like this guy who gets music before anyone else does, and he plays it before anyone else hears it, and it's good stuff. And he was like, you know, there's a lot of DJs like that, Armin van Buuren, and like these guys are getting paid so much, but yeah, most DJs now are actually making the shit that they play. But then they'll throw in like some other shit, or they'll do like a big remix of like a classic rock song that you know, like a great song that we know and love, but they'll make it like a dance song.
They'll play, or like they'll like play the song and then just like play a house beat afterwards with like the sample still, like I was talking about how the sample will still repeat.
Yeah. And
because it's repeating with the 4 to the floor beat, it fits to the 4 to the floor beat that they put in, and then they just put it into a techno song or a house song after.
Like, you know, that Van Halen song, Jump. Might
as well.
Like Armin van Buuren, I'm pretty sure. That's like one of his biggest songs is a remix he did to that. He made that like a fucking dance song, you know? I mean, so you can put that, can you put that here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just move it around and shit. I have to like just use the bathroom real quick. So do you want to explain to him what a DJ is?
No. I've got more than I wanted, so I'm good.
Well, just talk amongst yourselves.
All right. Well, my curiosity would be a little bit about Detroit and different places, because I'm pretty much a Southern California person, born and raised, like third generation.
Okay. So your fam's been here.
So I don't know anything but, you know, sunny skies and 80 degrees in the wintertime and
Oh yeah,
Malibu and
must be nice.
I guess it must be. I mean, I hear about these frozen tundras people come from and stuff, and I just can't even. My partner's from Chicago, so you know I hear from her a little bit, but it's just interesting to me.
Oh yeah, Chicago is no joke. I thought Detroit was bad when I lived in Detroit, and then I moved to Chicago, and I couldn't believe it. It's windy, it's cold. The snow is way worse.
Really?
We had a day. It was a snowpocalypse, which I'm sure you probably heard about it. It was like years back. We got like something like 3 or 4 feet of snow in one day. You know, the whole city was closed.
And so were you like frozen all the time, or what?
I mean,
or you wear ski clothes, or what?
So I work from home and make music if I'm not traveling I was at the time. So I was either gone at the airport or in my house, bundled up with my dog, making music.
So you didn't have to do a 9 to 5 or anything like that.
No. My girlfriend did, and she was like a dog walker, and she hated it.
In the wintertime? So you take dogs out in that?
Dogs gotta go. They gotta go.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, you got fucking Chicago weather. They still gotta pee.
Right. No matter what, even blizzard, right? You can't leave. You can't.
No, unless you like want to get your dog.
Your job is to walk your dog. Wow. Another part that I'm always curious about is like, how can I get into this subject without being like an asshole or getting doxxed or?
Just go right to it.
Like you can just
the culture, you know, like.
You know.
Maybe I should just leave that alone.
What?
The culture
of what?
Different places like Detroit and Chicago and.
Yeah, well, you guys kind of grew up near the hood, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were right next to the hood growing up for sure. Once I moved to Chicago, I was just always in the hood. But when I moved to Chicago,
You were always in the hood, but you didn't get jumped or beat up or robbed or like. How's that? Or did you?
I never got beat up or robbed. I ran multiple times.
Really?
For sure.
Wow.
But once I moved from, because nothing ever happened in Detroit growing up, and like our parents were always like, "Oh yeah, when you drive down past 8 Mile, like duck under the windows and whatever." Like they actually teach us in driver's ed that when you're at a red light in the D, to treat the red light as a stop sign, because somebody will come up and jack you in your car while you're sitting at a red light.
They teach you that.
My driver's ed teacher told me to do that.
What do you do at the light?
Wow. So you stop at the red.
You stop, make sure that nobody's coming, but then you go because people are waiting at the red lights to get an unsuspecting car.
So is 8 Mile a street?
Yeah, so 8 Mile is a street. It's basically Detroit set up like a grid. From 8 Mile to 0 Mile, it gets like after 0. That's Canada on the other side of the river. But 8 Mile, past 8 Mile is where like the suburbs start, and really the suburbs don't start for another 5 miles. I'd say maybe 3, depending on where you're at, because like those in between miles are just like the slums of the in between miles. Like, there's some money in some random little areas, but
did Eminem actually grow up on 8 Mile? Or near 8 Mile?
He grew. I think he was more on 7 Mile actually.
But why 8? Why did he call it 7 Mile then?
Because 8 Mile is it's the line where the city ends.
Okay, so 8 Mile is kind of like a thing that people say.
It's like they call it baseline because that's where like the start is.
Huh.
But yeah, I actually grew up working in Eminem's studio, interning from 7th grade in middle school until like junior year of high school. One of my best friends, Jake Bass, his dad is Jeff Bass. He wrote "Lose Yourself." He wrote "Real Slim Shady." He wrote "My Name Is." He wrote basically all the first 5 or 6 albums that Eminem put out. And we used to leave school early from middle school and from high school, get driven in like a black Escalade to go to the studio because it was, it wasn't even in the hood too much. It was like right at the edge. It was literally like on 8 Mile and shit.
So wait, who produced Hi, My Name Is?
Is this guy Jeff Bass and his brother Mark.
The guy you're talking about, produced the song.
They produced the song.
Hi, that was his first single.
Mm-hmm.
You
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah, I remember.
And Dre did drums on it and stuff.
Right.
Like, touched it. They like brought it through to him.
So these guys make the song and then they work with Slim Shady, who brings the lyric. I mean, they just give them the song and they say, "Now you do it."
Well, look, you're in the studio with these people.
Everybody's all collaborating.
Yeah, so you're just kind of like,
I see.
maybe. But are you claiming that this dude actually wrote "Hi, my name is"?
He didn't write the words. He wrote the music.
Okay.
So he did all the production, the beats, then the extra stuff. Like he's the dude that was this is a public service announcement brought to you by Slim Shady. If you like, that was him.
That was so creative.
If you look
it was so like different. And it had that like catchy beat. So yeah.
So Jeff knew like the whole.
So they signed him. They were the first. They like had him signed on a production like whatever deal.
Infinity thing.
Yeah, from the start of that. So from that coming out, they curated. They did stuff on it, but that was more other like beat like people in the city. I'm pretty sure that were doing some of the beats. But from I think it's 90. It was either 97 or 98 until 07, 08. The Bass Brothers, they like everything that M wrote, everything that he did, they own parts of it, if not all of it. So like that includes The Chronic 2001, that includes Get Rich or Die Trying, the 50 Cent album.
That's cool that he kept these dudes around. Yeah. He's like, oh, these are my boys. I'm going to keep them on the team. You don't really hear about these guys because it's like...
No,
But
and
yeah.
like there's a third guy, this guy named Louis Resto, who is like their third production partner, who still works with Marshall like a lot. The basses, they kind of got their loot and they have families and do their thing. But
they're all like around the same age. All these fools.
yeah, they're all old. And it's funny, they're all from Oak Park, where me and Alex are from. Like everybody grew up there, and then on top, like
Louis Resto volunteers. That's so rad. He volunteers my mom now.
yeah, he's the man.
And volunteers. Like, that's so crazy.
They just had like a Billboard top 10 songwriters of the month or whatever, and it's like, you know, Eminem, Billie Eilish, all these people that are like, you know, Post Malone, whatever, and then you see Louis Resto's name because he wrote all the songs with Marshall. So
Right.
when the new album came out, he was all over that.
Which one?
The one that
Murder.
the murder,
Right.
music to murder, whatever too. But
So you were in the studio. Did you meet Em and shit?
I met him when I was young. We never really worked together or nothing because
He was around.
you know
sometimes.
he like, so there's an upstairs studio and a downstairs studio. Growing up, me and Jake used to produce for this rock band of like 30-year-olds. Like we were making rock music ourselves, and his dad was like, "This is too good. You need like a real singer and like a real shit or whatever." So he basically like got this band together, had us writing all the music and the words for this band of 30-year-olds. And like we had major label offers from a bunch of people, but ultimately the singer was just like too old. You know, this was like 2003, 2004-ish. So like who was like Switchfoot was popular, and fucking people like that were like killing it, and they were
Nickelback.
like, yeah, and they were like, you know, younger, good looking, long haired guys or whatever. This guy was like old, baldish, not like bald, but like, you know, balding kinda, and it was like but his voice was great, but nobody was willing to sign him because he looked like that.
And then you got what, like an MPC or something?
So yeah, so then his dad Jeff was basically like, yeah, you know, this rock music is cool, but like y'all should probably do hip hop because clearly like Marshall's doing it, pretty much blown. You know, this is the wave, and they didn't see anything changing with that wave for the foreseeable future, which, as we know from it being 20 years now in the future, hip hop is the most popular genre in the world.
Yeah, EDM definitely made a run for its money.
Yeah, it came in hot. It did.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like what the fuck happened there, dude? It was like hip hop, like Eminem, NWA, fucking Dre, like Tupac, Biggie, and then all of a sudden like Daft Punk and Kanye did some
Daft
shit.
Punk, that's what it was.
And
Daft Punk came
then,
in.
and then fucking you had like this insurgence of dance, which I think a big part of that started at Banana Split. It was a spot in LA that we used to play at, and Aoki had a night at Cinespace, and AM had a night at LAX called Banana Split, and like Busy P and like all the Ed Banger dudes would come through, and like Daft Punk was like this fucking legacy. They were just like this like super, you know, no one knew what they looked like, and their brand was so high level, and they had already kind of been around for a while, but they were just starting to get, there was like this like groundswell of like, whoa, this genre has been around for so long and is so goes so deep, and a lot of the French dudes, kind of like Ed Banger and, you know, Busy P and Sebastian and Daft Punk and Gesaffelstein and, you know, Kavinsky, like that was the dope shit, you know. But then you had like Martin Garrix and Avicii and a lot of these like, and we were in that mix a little bit too on the pop side of things, but we also produced our own shit. Skrillex came out and fucking,
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
yeah, well, not really though.
I mean, he came from
If
he
you know-
did his
you
thing
know-
with From First to Last and
Yeah.
stuff. But as for in the DJ world, I know when he first came out, we were all like, what? Like, you know, I'm in the slum, I'm in the fucking gutters playing these crazy shows in Mississippi and Arkansas and wherever, like chasing down promoters, trying to get my fucking bag.
Yeah.
And then I like, you know, I was playing Demph in Detroit and I had some shitty set that like got mostly rained out and shit. And fucking everybody's freaking out. This Skrillex guy's playing the, you know, not even the main stage. He's playing like the Red Bull stage, which is like the third biggest stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I'd heard his name going around and, you know, people like, but I was like, how is he playing this stage? Like, I just heard about him like a month ago.
Yeah, because he came out so hot. His shit was
It was so hot. He changed everything.
Yeah, it was just so good.
So hot from what, like his bedroom or something? I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, basically.
On a laptop. He basically like locked himself in a room for a couple of years and just mastered the art of production.
Yeah, and he invented a sound basically that
he took a dubstep sound and made it his own in this really aggressive kind of melodic, very heavy metal influenced.
He took it like from like the slum gutter clubs to like the stadium level sound. Like his music can be played in stadiums.
But simultaneously you had like, you know, Diplo and Dylan Francis and Dead Mouse, and it was just you know, then now Marshmello, and so it's like, you know, I mean, but it's obvious that like the trap, like mumble rap, lyrical lemonade, you know, kind of thing is definitely like bigger, I think, than EDM right now. But I think a lot of these EDM artists, like what he's doing, they're making beats for the rappers, and it's kind of. But would you say that you've sort of like been heavily influenced by trends? And it's hard not to be.
Yeah, it's hard not to be, because you know, you hear these new sounds and you're like, oh, that's fun. And it's kind of even more subconscious than on purpose. I make a point to not make any music like from anything. Like I literally go in and I pull out sounds from my head.
Yeah, that beat definitely had a thing going on that was cool. It wasn't like, oh, that's that.
I make a point to try and, like, I listen to as much music. I think that's probably the thing too. I listen to a lot of different genres and a lot of different music all the time. So when I go to try and make something myself, like all those things are flying in at once.
What are some of your favorite artists, just in general?
I mean, in general, like, you know, I listen to Miles Davis probably every day.
Oh, that's cool.
I listen to a lot of Kanye. I love Kanye. As for new art, I'm going on my like through my title downloaded in my head right now.
Anything.
I'm really on this new kid, Jack Harlow. He's fucking hot, man. He's got like literally no bad records. He's got like 4 albums out from top to bottom. They're all fucking hot. I guess I don't know. I'd be listening to so many different playlists too. I just put on like, you know, the upcoming artist playlist on Tidal, and I'll just listen to it and I'll like make notes of the songs that I like, and I'll just keep them going. But
how old are you?
29.
Did you get into like the grunge scene?
I mean, yeah. Kurt Cobain was my favorite person in the world for years. I
think a lot of producers like around our age, you know, and musicians he was sort of a big part of the reason that a lot of us started wanting to make music.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, right? I'm sure Skrillex would say the same thing.
There's literally a poster at my neighbor's house of like him with like, you know, the eyeliner and like the it's like, you know, he just looks so cool. And I was like, I had already known the music, but I didn't necessarily know. I knew Nirvana. I didn't really know him. You know, I was probably 8 or something, and like he died when I was 4. So
yeah, I was like 13, 14, like in it.
Oh my god!
When you were 8,
yeah, because that's when I was the biggest fan of him. When I was 13, is when I remember I was wearing flannels every day. My hair was long,
but he had already died.
Yeah.
So I remember when he died, being a fan.
Damn.
And it was like I remember
It was really sad
um
for me.
yeah,
I just felt bad for him.
no, for sure it's sad, but I think that I don't know, for me that kind of stuff is always like so surreal. It's like you didn't really know him. I don't know, maybe I'm just fucked up, but it's like it's kind of hard for me to get emotionally, like, I don't feel the same way as if someone I knew and loved died.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I don't really get sad like on that same level.
I have a quick little story about that. So I must have been in my middle 20s or something, and I was going to outpatient at the rehab that he was in. I didn't see him, but
He's even older than us. So
and
he
I was
like,
talking to Gibby Haynes, who I didn't know who he was. I was just like, this dude is a fucking crazy
the
character.
butthole surfers.
Yeah,
guy?
yeah. And he had like no lace. He looked like almost like a bum or something. and he came. I was like doing my cigarettes or something, and he came up to me and he's all like, "You a heroin addict or something?" Because of the ritualistic way I was doing my cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And I remember him sharing like just wacky, like, I don't know, like being sober is like having a red hot poker stuck up your urethra. Just like it was a really weird dude, but I didn't know who he was. And anyway, so I was going to this outpatient rehab, and Kurt Cobain, rumor was he was in there, and then like maybe a couple days later he jumped the wall, and then a couple days later he was found dead.
Whoa.
So he was in that rehab at that time.
Yeah, it's really crazy, like the legacy that has become him. I was actually just listening to the new Pearl Jam song that just came out, and Stone Temple Pilots actually have a new album out too. But the bio in the thing was like, people attribute this whole grunge thing to Kurt because he, became so famous afterwards. But the truth is that Pearl Jam was way bigger than Nirvana in their heyday, and actually probably more responsible for that whole movement than Nirvana, having had like a lot like more singles, and just like they were just bigger, and I actually think their music is better. But it's just a weird thing that because he died, he just became infamous, and everyone, if that had been, Eddie Vedder, or if Chris Cornell had died back then instead of recently, maybe Soundgarden would have become the
Nirvana.
Yeah, it's just weird when someone dies, and then Biggie and Tupac died, and just the legacy of that. But he is such a nostalgic. But if you listen to the Eddie Vedder interviews, or even like Lane Staley or Bradley Noel, or a lot of these guys, these grunge guys back then, like they all kind of had that same like mysterious, depressed, like real artist thing going on, which, I mean, it's like it's real. When you watch the Kurt interviews, you're like, whoa, like this is.
Well, that's the thing that like I don't know about music and all this stuff. I just know that I lived through it. For me, Nirvana, it just like it invokes some emotion, like it's certain, like more than any of those other bands for me.
You know what? You're probably right. Like he had some real pain.
He had a sound that was like, it was just approachable almost, and it was like,
but also super painful.
Yeah, well, and it was like you could kind of, even though you might not even necessarily like even be understanding the words, like it was almost like a mumble type of shit.
I would
sometimes.
say you mostly didn't.
But you felt the emotion coming from the words. So you're
sure.
like, oh, like I listened to this dude King Sunny Ade. It's like this Nigerian guy, and I don't speak Nigerian, like, or what, I don't understand a word, but I listen to him all the time, like, and I just feel it. I don't have to know what he's saying in order to feel it. And that's what I say to anybody that will bash on the mumble shit, because I'm like, yeah, I guess you could be, but like you don't speak Spanish, and like you don't whatever, like you don't need to understand the words necessarily to understand the feeling that's like been put into that song.
That's actually a really interesting, cool comparison. I've never thought of it that way. A lot of the mumble rap is like, you know, the dudes that are doing it the best come from a culture that's, you know, what's his name? Young Thug. I don't really know a lot about it, okay? But like, I know enough to know that like, you need a translator to listen to a lot of this shit. Like, I've watched YouTube videos about the panda shit. How does that song go?
Panda. I got some licks in Atlanta. I got hoes in Atlanta.
Yeah, but he says a lot of shit. Like what?
Oh yeah, it's bars
okay,
for sure.
So the panda, like he's not actually talking about a panda bear.
No.
He's talking about a car.
Yeah, and he's talking about like going in and scamming on some like stealing somebody.
Okay, no, but the panda represents an actual car, a black and white car. I watched this.
Okay,
YouTube.
don't look at me because I don't even know the song.
but I like that you're here because you would probably listen to this and go like, this is fucking garbage or whatever. But like,
right.
In the same way that, you know, you listen
Maybe, but if the beat was like, you know,
the beat is hard.
Yeah, no, but I just like that you're comparing that to, you know, lyrics in the 90s that you couldn't understand. I mean, there's a Stone Temple Pilots song, the Interstate Love song, you know, take time, or creep for a wanted hand, cause I likes to steal. I'm half the man I used to be. He's not like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I mean, I do though. Like, he's just like, they're like little hints of like, I'm half the man I used to be. Like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, he's you know, take time for a wanted hand cause I like to steal. It's just like, it's art. It's just fucking art. That's it.
Right.
And these gangster thug dudes that speak super broken, like slang, like ghetto English, they're like speaking. That's what I loved about Wu-Tang so much. It was almost like it was almost like a different language.
No, and like that's what it's.
But
it comes from something
Well,
real.
you know what? I like that, how you said it's art, because I don't know what the fuck any song I'm listening to.
We should try to stop
but
because it's really loud.
Yeah, there's a dog fight going on.
He
but
was like filming it, looking at me. I was like, dude.
You hear it and you interpret it in your mind a certain way that works.
It's just you should have an open mind and just catch a feeling. What's the feeling that you catch if you're not judging? If you're not picking shit apart, if you're not like thinking, oh, this isn't what I'm used to, I want to hear. Personally, like I've tried to have an open mind, and I just gravitate towards like different, like I just like, you know, AWOL Nation, Father John Misty, Vampire Weekend, The Strokes. Lagwagon has a new album out that nobody gives a fuck about, but it's so fucking good. Did you ever get into like the punk scene?
When I was younger, a little
like
bit.
No Effects, Lagwagon.
Yeah, I used to love Fugazi. They were those were my people. And
yeah,
like,
that's older.
I liked some of the Dropkick Murphys type shit.
But did you really like dive into like Strung Out, Face to Face, Lagwagon, No Effects?
No Effects a little bit.
Yeah,
but.
see, that's that chamber of music in like the late 90s when Blink was popping off and Green Day was popping off. There was other bands like in that time on Fat Records and Epitaph, Offspring, and
I love the Offspring.
Yeah, like that album Smash is crazy. I remember it was Nirvana and that album Offspring. It was Nevermind and Smash, and I was obsessed. But I always liked the punk shit a little bit more. It's more to the point. It's a more complex style of music to play. It's harder to play. It's faster. It's in a lot of ways more melodic. There's more lyrics. There's more. I think punk is the greatest genre of all time. And I think that, you know, if I was you, I would be excited to dive into some of that. Like No Effects is like a religious thing for me almost. Like Lagwagon and No Effects and Strung Out, like their lyrics and what they did and what they said, and just it's incredible. But they're like, it's just super like underrated. I feel like I don't know what the fuck happened there. It was like happening, you know, and then all of a sudden like grunge just came in and just smashed it. It's just weird.
It could be. I mean, I guess I don't see it punk as much of a big venue sound.
Right.
I think that's a big thing in music. Is that whether it's in rock or
it was like too fast. It was too fast. It was too aggressive. It was like too much. I would say too high level on some, you know, and then you slow it down a little. You make it a little more digestible, like Pearl Jam, off Nirvana, sound.
And like those songs are like, they're like chants,
yeah,
you know,
timeless,
like they're like you can a whole stadium singing all the words to every song from Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
Even the Waiting Room one. Isn't that Fugazi?
The Waiting. Yeah. Is that Fugazi?
Yeah. Yeah, it is Fugazi. That's like their biggest song. Unless it's Minor Threat, but Minor Threat became Fugazi.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm like a punk fucking encyclopedia. I'm like obsessed. You know, Sex Pistols, the Ramones on the East Coast, Sex Pistols in London, but you know, some say the Ramones started.
Fugazi was kind of a whole movement, though. Like wasn't it like the peaceful punk kind of thing? Like you could go in a pit and not get mangled, and they were vegetarians. Right. I remember there was a whole thing that went along with it. Wow. And they had that song Repeater. Was that them?
I don't know.
But I think that was their biggest.
But yeah, that's dope. Like the punk guys that are like, you know, animal rights and like that's real punk shit. Like,
it was sort of like
let's be a family. Let's take care of each other. Like we need to lean on each other. And
like I might punch you in the pit, but like I'm gonna hug you outside.
yeah. And then, you know, some guys take it like too far. I was just watching an interview with Johnny Rotten, the singer of the Sex Pistols, like now, and this fucking guy is just so angry and so like he was like getting into a fight with everyone else on the stage. You had like Henry Rollins, Duff from Guns N' Roses. You had Ramone, I think it was Marky Ramone up there. And they were all up there, and he kept interrupting everyone, and he just kept like talking shit. Like, damn. He was just kind of, I think he was just like, but it's like in some ways, everyone was kind of like, hey, this is punk. Like, this fool doesn't give a shit. He's just fucking crazy, and he's like, fuck everyone. It's just weird to see like an old man like still acting that way. It's really, it was kind of on some immature shit, you know? So you did a lot of fucking hallucinogenics.
I did.
So would you say you're the kind of guy that, have you ever like taken people through like a trip that were like freaking out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love guys that have like experience with like tripping, and they're like, there's other people that are like maybe on the edge of having a bad trip, and you're like able to like bring them into the fold. Like, I feel like Jerry Garcia was that kind of a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he still is that type of guy. So I feel people just turn him on, and then they're just like, oh, Jerry, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, because you could lose your way on a trip. And it could get really bad, and there's a certain amount of emotional intelligence I think you need going into that kind of stuff. And you start getting in your head, and you can really create a really scary scenario out of nothing.
Especially if you're still doing that shit after you've been sober and you're like, life is shit, and someone gives you acid and you're like, no, yes.
Is that what you did? And then
it's like 8 to 10 hours of hell. Yeah. I mean, long after, I had only good trips until, you know, it's just clear that I was a drug addict. And
then you tried it more
than once.
And you were just not, you just knew it was not the truth for you.
It just wasn't anymore. I remember when it was magic, like real magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was real like black magic after. Yeah. Yeah. So what's a lot? I mean, and what kind?
I mean, I spent probably a good like 2 years hallucinating every other day or every 3 days or so.
On what?
Acid, mainly acid.
Good, or just all
Good,
kinds.
good
whatever
acid.
came
I
through.
lived with my roommate in Chicago was a member of the Sunshine family, so we were getting.
Ooh, what is that, dude?
So
That's like old school hippie
so that's
stuff,
like
right?
that's like the
They
great.
were getting that good shit.
That's like so if you go to
straight from fucking what's his name? What's that guy's name? The acid guy? Timothy Leary.
Timothy Leary, yeah. So
Was he a part of that shit?
So so the Sunshine family is like the what the pranksters became, I guess. So it's like the Grateful Dead family acid. So if you go to a Dead show and you basically you got to look for somebody that has like a Grateful Dead wings on. It looks like looks like wings for that they give you on the airplane.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, bro.
And
I never knew all this
These
stuff.
motherfuckers, you enter a different, like, dimension. Mm-hmm. Like, these guys are, like, they got the wing. They're like, we're the fucking drivers on this bus.
Oh yeah,
You want to come on this bus? Like, here's your ticket. We're all on this. It's like a fucking thing you can't really explain, right?
It's like it's like this weird. I mean, I'm sure if you guys have like when you hallucinate with people, you feel like you're attached, like your energies are attached, right?
But then also, you feel closer to the rest of the human race.
Well, that part too,
And the world and the earth and the dirt and the trees and everything.
no, and that's one of the reasons why I realized that the whole world is making it such a scary thing. These hallucinogens, like I smoked a lot of DMT as well, and like if you can't smoke that or even take acid and have a good visual and not believe in, I'm not going to say that anything is right or anything, but some sort of higher power of creation, like something made this.
Well, yeah, that
I would say that
that made
it
me
is
see
right.
that.
It is right, and it all makes sense. And like you are of the earth and the dirt and the stardust or whatever. You're not separate. You're just part of it. But you experience it on like a real level.
Well, and you start to see like the divine like architecture of like you look at a tree and you're like, oh, this is pretty fucking awesome. You look at your hand and you're like, this is the shit. What the fuck is this?
You
Like,
see it.
Is it geometric?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
When
okay.
you look at a leaf, you can see every vein in the leaf.
Yeah, all the
Like,
little, almost like
can
the
s-
cellular
it's-
compartments or something.
You see through what like the design came from.
Yeah,
and
and everyone sees that, right? But
I don't know.
no, everyone can see that stuff. But when you're on a hallucinogenic, there's something that it almost removes a certain kind of part of our brain that we've developed, I think, over time. Some kind of a fear, like you can't see. It just brings you. It's just like it brings the truth out a little bit more. Like, whoa, this is very complex and very crazy, and I'm so far from understanding even the slightest. Like, there's just so much I don't know. I don't know. But what is that?
It's so hard to describe because you're describing something that's indescribable, I think. But
But
kind of like you can never describe your God feeling or what God is like.
Joe talks about.
Until you trip, you just can't.
No, it's like a totally it's eye opening. The first time I looked at the stars on LSD, I couldn't believe it. I was like, because it's like it connects everything. It like there's like the map of the stars that you see where it'll like every star is there and like there's lines between them all. Like that like appeared to me like up in the sky, and I'm just like.
So you were seeing like your own configurations?
Not even my. I mean, they're not. They were the configurations that have been in the sky the whole time. Like the Big Dipper was just way brighter and way more prevalent in the sky rather than when you're like. I mean, when you're in the city, you can barely see it anyways.
That's true.
Like I'm seeing like we were in. Where was I? I was in like west side of Michigan at the time. I was at a festival called Rothbury, and I'm laying in this middle of this field, laying with my girl, looking up the stars. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, we're supposed to go be seeing, I think it was the Disco Biscuits were playing, and we're like, nah, we're not going anywhere. Like, I'm just gonna look at this until I can't see it anymore, because like I felt like I was seeing something that I wasn't supposed to see, or something like some hidden, what's that? Like National Treasure, like that somebody had poured the ink revealer on, and I saw everything. I was like, oh, like this is fucking real. Like where we are is real now.
It's good. When you hit that heat, kind of cold up in this bitch. Yeah, dude. It's kind of interesting how you can just kind of... I feel like I see that in you. There's a kind of depth to certain people that doesn't exist in some other people. And I think that only comes by experience. I mean, just... And tripping, like I'm sure you've been through a lot of crazy shit, whatever made you who you are, and gives you the ability to, speak and act the way you act, which is just kind of, it's cool. It's like we're right here with you. I've had some people on that weren't quite on the level, I guess you could say. But it just makes me wonder, what if we gave Donald Trump acid for a week? Really though. And a lot of the people that are in that situation, I'm not even joking at all. No. I mean, it is kind of funny, but I feel like, Indians and different tribes, they have rituals for a reason, and this shit was put on the earth for a reason. And it's just this dude, it wouldn't make him want more money and power. It just fucking has this way of humbling you.
It definitely
it's a humbling thing, and humility is such a important part of being a human, a loving human, and integrating with the rest of society. And what a cool...
It heightens your awareness too, so you're really I hate to be but you love more. I love so immensely now that I don't even be talking about it anymore, because I'm just I don't even want these people to know how much I love them or what's going on or whatever, because it's a weird thing now. Love is very weird.
You mean you got that and you didn't lose it?
What do you mean?
You didn't lose the love, the intensity feeling?
No, it's I feel like it's even, I haven't taken LSD in forever at this point, but I fall in love with everybody I meet. Literally, if you're nice to me.
You weren't like that before though? I'm sure you kind of.
I mean, I think I was a little bit, but
that shit changes you forever.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially if you do it the way he did it.
Oh, continue almost kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much constantly
But you gotta wait a few days, or it doesn't even really.
Unless you never let it stop. Then you can go for a few days, and you just keep going, And so a lot of the time too, we were making it at our apartment. So when you're laying it, have the crystals and you're putting it on all the stuff, the air is just pretty much full of acid. So you don't even need to touch it, and you'll start tripping just by being in the room.
See,
okay, just hold on. Who are you living with at this time?
It was my I'll say his first name because it won't matter.
Well, whatever.
My friend Ryan.
It's your buddy. Him.
Me and him and his girlfriend were living in an apartment in Buena Vista in Chicago.
And you just were fucking making acid.
Yeah, and selling it mostly, but making it a fair amount. And it was very good.
And then, hold on.
It was insanely good.
So you went to the store every day and...
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just tripping.
Yeah. Totally. On the train. There's
cook food.
There's a club a couple blocks away called the Kinetic Playground, and I was a resident opener and closer DJ for like whatever was coming through for the weekend.
So you were able to function and do what you needed to do. And
yeah, there was one time where I got too high as I was playing, and my computer was like melting in front of me, and the table was just like melting and shit. And I just like put on a song that I made that was 9 minutes long. And I called my girlfriend up. I said, after this song is done, you got to pack my shit up. I'm going to the bathroom. And I was tripping my balls off in the bathroom. And I was like, come get me when you're done or when you get my shit. And then we walked a block or two away to my crib. But it was like, that was the one time when a friend had came up to me while I was playing. And he's like, hey, do you want a dose? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Whatever. It's whatever night. We call it puddling, where you it comes in like little eye drop bottles, and he just squirted a whole little puddle in my hand. And I'm performing, so I'm not paying attention to what he just threw in my hand. I'm just like, all right, bet. And I go, and it's just like dripping on my face, and I'm like, oh my God, like that was probably like 20 hits of acid at least.
Wow.
And like within 5-10 minutes, that's when the melting started.
Wow. That's
and I was
fast.
like, I looked at my friend, I was like, yo, like what the hell? And he's just like chuckling, because at that point, like we were the type of kids you hear the stories about where like, oh, my friend dosed my friend when he was asleep and he woke up and he was like those were my friends. Like, but we all like you were saying, we could all handle it. Like I have been on 250 hits of acid at a time. So once you do that, like you can handle pretty much any dosage and at any point of the day.
Wait a minute, 250 hits. So at some point, it just doesn't get any.
Hold on a second.
No, it gets more intense for sure.
Hold on. How do you do 250? You just drink it?
Yeah. So it's called a vial wash or a jar wash. So this vial wash is where they'll take the vial and they'll cut it in half and they'll throw it in like some alcohol and basically
cut it in half.
So it's a Visine bottle. That's how you store liquid. So if the inside of the bottle, you can't get everything out of the bottle. The bottle, it's like walled up with some residue. So you cut that, throw it in a bottle of Carlo Rossi or whiskey or whatever. Then all of a sudden you got a bunch of dosed wine. It could be anywhere from 20, 30, 10, whatever, however much is left in there. This particular time with the 250, that was when my roommate got his wings. Because when you get your wings, you get initiated. They got to dose you super hard so that they trust you or some shit. And so what they did is they had this jar that was used to hold crystals, because acid starts in crystal form. And this jar basically was just like caked in crystal all along the sides and stuff. So what they did was they pour like a shot or two of whiskey in there, and then you drink it. And after you drink it, you get your wings. And because I wasn't like a full deadhead like that, but they were like they wanted me to take part in it. So they're like, we don't have any wings for you, but like you can take the acid if you want. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, this was at summer camp festival in Illinois. So I drank it. We got lost with them for 2 days, and I couldn't find my girlfriend. She was like, what happened? I was like, took all this acid. Fucking.
You got lost where? At the festival?
At the festival, yeah.
For 2 days?
I mean, yeah, it was like the morning, and then she didn't find me until the following night. So like not a full 2 days, but like a day and a half type shit where it was like I was just...
So wait, real quick, what do you mean acid starts as a crystal?
So yeah, it starts, the chemist puts together all this whatever... And it becomes, it's like a rock, like a crack rock, but it's like an acid rock. Wow. And then to lay it, you put it under this like machine that pounds it together, or pounds it down into like the smallest crystal you can find, and then you soak it after that, and then it like spreads out into whatever, I think they use Everclear and shit.
That's how acid is made.
Yeah. But I don't know the original chemicals. I don't know what they do.
But I'm just curious. A lot of acid must be made like not that way, or like bad acid, or I'm sure, like residues.
Yeah, I mean, it all.
That's like the good shit you're talking about.
Yeah, that's like from the ground, like from the
like that crystal.
Yeah,
like,
that's where it starts.
Like if you lick that crystal.
Oh, you wouldn't want to do that. Like you wouldn't want to touch the crystal with your bare hand.
Whoa.
Like you'll be fucked.
Okay, so who's giving out wings?
Just old deadheads that have been on tour for years that are like trusted salesmen or whatever.
So
when you see the Dead, are they still playing and following? Is there still
Dead and Company which is like Bob Weir and
so this thing's still happening. This culture is still going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I unfortunately was out of town, but they were just here like a few, like 2 or 3 months ago.
I think that there's probably more now. Like, is Fish a part of it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's all festivals that are like all about that shit.
Yeah. There's
now,
a lot of other bands. I think there's probably even newer. Like, isn't the String Cheese Incident?
String Cheese is one of them for sure.
Fish. I like. Just by the way, I just want to go on record saying that Fish is, I think, always been one of my favorite bands.
They're crazy. Their shows are just crazy energy.
They're just such incredible musicians, and I mean, they have a lot of like songs that are like, why? But then they have like, it's like Ween. Is Ween in that scene? Ween
is like the people are in that scene are fans of Ween, but the Ween themselves are not in the scene.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like you might hear some random like Ween cover, but you're not going to see Ween at a festival like that.
Yeah, I just want to just pause for a second and say this is great. This is a great podcast.
I definitely learned some new stuff.
Yeah, I'm really into this, and I think there's a lot further to go with this, and I'm going to keep us on track. But I just think it's really fascinating, this idea, because I went to Costa Rica and did ayahuasca with having 12 or 13 years sober, and so that was like totally nothing, like clear mind for clear, like I mean, but honestly, like for me, like I think that I don't know, I just definitely, the shaman was a trip to me. A dude that is kind of dedicating a part of his life to being the driver of that bus. You know what I mean? And you're helping people hallucinate safely, and you have your guardrails, you know, you're trying to help you have different things, and incense, and you know, bird skeletons, and I don't know, like they're working in a dimension that's not quite clear. Does that make sense, Billy? You seem
well in like 3 different ways, because I'm hearing Angela demonic thing, and then I'm thinking before earlier, like if you see we're talking about
just so people understand what you mean by that. Billy's married to Angela, who's a Christian, and she's probably would say this is not chill. Is what you're? That's what you mean by that.
She's sober and ate plenty of acid too.
I just want to make sure people understand what you meant by Angela.
Yeah. That, and then I thought about you dosing Donald Trump, and like what a ritual. If it was a positive ritual, like it seems like it brings everybody, like you were saying, we've all had the same experience.
But I just want to real quick touch on the fact that,
and when I got up, we're so off subject, I don't even know where we were at. But
wait, what do you? No. But I just want to talk about the come down. Is there a negative? Do you get a come down? Like, it's kind of a bummer when it's fading off. Or is there a way to control your mind into not thinking that it's a bummer?
You know, it really kind of isn't. There was the first time that I experienced visuals when the come down was a bummer, because I was like, oh no, that was so cool. I want this to be that to still be happening.
Right.
But then once I started doing it a lot, and you realize, like, I could drink like a whole handle of whiskey and be on acid up all night, partying with people, and I would go home, not even go to sleep, just like watch TV or whatever with my girlfriend until 2-3 p.m. Take an hour or 2 nap, and wake up and be totally fine. No hangover, no No worse for wear at all, really. Like not like I would get up and go to yoga or nothing like that, but like I wasn't hungover. Like the time when I would not be doing acid and I'd be drinking, like, because I was quite a drinker also at the same time. But the acid masks the drinking. The acid, like, you're not even drunk on acid. Like, it doesn't even affect you. But once I stopped doing as much acid and kept the drinking like I was doing, I was like, oh, these hangovers are terrible. Like, this is the worst thing ever. And that's when I eventually stopped doing mixed drinks, because I realized the sugar was the main hangover. I was like, I'm just going to do for straight liquor because fuck it. And then I, like, became a raging alcoholic. And I was like, oh, wait, like, that's not smarter. That's just fucking being an alcoholic. Like, I'm avoiding the hangover, but I'm still drinking myself to this crazy point every night. And I dated this girl for a very long time, and she overdosed one night. We thought we were on acid, but it turned out to be like CB2 or something, or 2C. What was it? 2CB? No.
GHB?
No, it was like some experimental hallucinogen that like one of our friends had brought by. We thought it was acid though. Little did I know, like, you know, she had been doing other, you know, prescriptions and a little bit of her own nose stuff on, like, in the bedroom without me knowing. She ended up overdosing. Her parents sent her to rehab, brought me into family week at rehab and all that shit. And I'm realizing, I'm like, I didn't bring the drugs, I didn't whatever, but like, because of this lifestyle, I got her. She was in a coma for 3 days, and it was on Christmas. It was terrible. You know, we were like 23 years old, or I was 23, she was 24, and it was like, oh wow, like this isn't fun no more. Like, even though that night, like I loaded her into an ambulance, and I like literally hallucinated a still fine and didn't like have a bad trip or nothing I had a bad night for sure. Like, that sucked. She almost died, but my trip wasn't bad after that. Like, I thought I was getting abducted by aliens at one point. I was like on my porch, and like I felt like my body start to like be sucked away, and like, you know, I'm sure I was just super high. But I like literally I grabbed onto the handle of the porch and just like dragged myself in, because I was like, no, like not tonight. Like, Kelly's in the hospital. Like, I gotta stay here. Like, maybe later. But I was like, I still think maybe it happened. But either way,
what happened?
That little alien situation. But either way, once I came out of that, like, that was pretty much the last time that I hallucinated, was when she was in a coma. So,
but what do you mean you think the alien thing happened?
I don't know. I felt like I was being sucked away. There was already weird shit going on that night, and I like literally like not like even like my body was like turning into like a, like, you know, being faded away into it. I don't know. It was just a very weird feeling, and I remember like grabbing on and feeling like I was floating away, and having to bring myself back into because I had my girlfriend's best friend in the house crying her fucking ass off, freaking out. She was having a bad trip, right. So I had to come back and get her down to earth and be like, no, Kelly's alive. We'll be straight. Like, you know. We had told the cops that she got drugged at a club, so I was like, I don't know, we were just asleep and all of a sudden she started seizing, right? And it was like, no, we were obviously having a party and she fucking started seizing.
But this is starting to sound like terrible drug addict stuff,
right?
I mean, yeah, it was.
but yeah, the wings thing is just kind of interesting to me. Before we go down that road, you can sell. Having wings means that you're what, like a credible...
It means you're a credible source for acid.
And what do you get?
What do you mean?
How do you know if someone has wings?
You see it they have it pinned on their hat.
So you get something?
So yeah, like if
to pin?
They will give you a pin. Like, a member of the family will give you a pin.
And there's only a certain amount of pins.
So that's the thing. There, for a while, it was like, you know, you could only get pins from the certain manufacturer that is like dead family people excuse me, dead family people. But now, you know, everybody makes pins, so like there'll be people making their own wings and trying to pretend they're.
But at a certain point in time, this was like
yeah, like
that's pretty cool, man. I'm surprised I haven't heard of that. I feel like there's a really interesting documentary there.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
and how involved were the Hells Angels?
They were involved in like more so like the East Coast stuff a lot. I didn't really see them too often,
right?
But they kind of like they dipped more into the nitrous world.
Okay,
like,
are you an alcoholic?
I'm a recovering alcoholic, I'd say.
Okay, do you maybe?
I'm not. I'm fighting with it. You know, like I haven't totally, you know, stopped drinking. Like if it's a special occasion, like, you know, my cousin got married in November. I had a couple glasses of champagne. I was at Anderson .Paak's birthday on Saturday. I had a glass of tequila or two. And like, those are things where I'm like, you know, first of all, the liquor's free. So I'm like, you know, okay, like it's like a, okay. I'll drink with like a few glasses in like a celebratory thing.
But you don't like think about it after, or you don't want to do it the next day. You're not obsessing.
Not anymore. It definitely, I had gone through like a lot of my relationships, whether it be artists I work with or girlfriends or whatever, especially coming from Chicago where alcohol is like...
But are you doing anything else? You taking pills? You doing smoking weed?
I smoke weed.
Every day?
I take dabs, yeah.
Every day?
Yeah.
Take dabs? Yeah. Is that like just edibles or something?
Okay, so...
It's like concentrated
it's
weed, so it's like hash.
Oh. Okay,
that's been more concentrated.
Have you ever thought of stopping everything? Could you? Would you?
Yeah, I could. I go a few days sometimes where I don't. Like, I'll stay at a friend's house for the weekend that doesn't smoke, and it's not like a thing like that.
Yeah. So maybe you're not an alcoholic.
I don't think I am anymore. I think I'm tired of it.
Alcoholism is a disease that centers in my mind, and it needs to be treated. And I always have it. I'm always going to have it. It's a problem with the way I think. It's like I'm unsatisfied no matter what. I'm always wanting more. And I think normal things that exist in everyone kind of exist in me more intensely, way more intensely. Fear.
Well, the thing is, too, there's no way you're going a few days without trying to get... That's just not even comprehensible.
You side micing it, or what are we doing?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well,
because my cord's real short, so I'm like stuck on this leash, right?
Oh, no, it's not short though. That's the thing. Is you can.
It's all okay.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not. But like, it's not so much about whether or not we can go a few days. That's not really the point, right?
Well, sort of, because I think if I could just not do some drugs or whatever, something to get high for a few days at a time, I might not have stopped. That was like not... That's not the point. No, it's not the point.
Yeah, it's really not the point, because there are alcoholics who can do that, like Gus.
Really?
Well, yeah, Gus was sober for a whole year.
Right.
I mean, there's...
but you don't just go days between drinks without thinking about drinks.
I just think everyone's different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's more about our thought life, right? We can have no peace without a higher power and, a real surrender. And there has to be like a psychic change. And I mean, I just think that some people, like maybe like you and some other people I know, they just, they went hard for a little while. They're open, they experiment, they like to have fun and have an open mind and explore, different things. And then they just, they cruise. Like it seems like he's just cruising and he's okay.
I just find it incredible. I mean, it's just amazing how.
Yeah. Or you're just not really being totally honest about what's really going on inside, And that's, I mean, if I'm not saying that you aren't, right? Like my wife was sober for 5 years with me in the beginning of my recovery, and now she smokes weed every day and she's fine. So I am very open to like different people and their different things. But one thing we do here and that I love to do is
you're so right. It's not about that. It's just about
help people, like get sober and understand. Like, would you say you're happy?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, he's good.
I'm happy in a way that like I know everything's going to be okay. Like I'm not in the most comfortable financial or career place in my life.
I'm trying to dab though.
I spent a whole week dabbing CBD one time for like a weed judgment competition. I was like a judge for a competition, and I had to smoke just the CBD to do a decent judging on it because it changes everything. And I loved it. I wasn't really getting high. I think what it was doing first was it was filling my oral fixation to like want to smoke something, and it was hitting my cannabinoid receptors in a way that wasn't making me high, but it was still scratching that itch.
That's what do you feel it? By the way?
I don't know.
You don't know. You would know. Stand up.
But I already have problems. I was like passing out in the car today every 30 seconds.
But you would know. Like you would know. Because I've been playing with this CBD shit, and it's interesting. It's
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of.
It's so subtle, but I can't say 100%.
Yeah, but it's not subtle. What I've been experiencing isn't subtle. It's like a real. You know how like when you get high on weed, you get a little bit hypersensitive, and I think a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. That you get through hallucinogenics, I think some of that is happens on CBD too. It's just kind of like
or maybe you got me so you maybe CBD is it's not chill for sober people.
Oh, why are you?
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, do you feel it?
I don't really know. No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. I definitely see the thing about me and alcoholics is I don't like, I think about it too much. It's like an obsession. Changing how I feel becomes an obsession. And it's just gotta, it just,
you mean like
progresses.
An obsession how? So like,
it's just progressing. It's always progressing. Like in if I start taking Norcos again, within a week, I will be right back to where I left off, taking like 20 a day. Yeah. I just can't. It doesn't matter how good I feel. It doesn't matter if the sun's out or if it's raining or if I'm doing good or if I'm not doing good or if I have money or if I don't have money or if I have a girl. I'm getting fucked up, and and if I'm fucked up, I want to be more fucked up. And if I'm more fucked up, I'm like, all right, am I going to be able to get fucked up tomorrow? And I just fucking.
All right. I think I feel it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You're thinking about it.
No, there is something, and it's maybe not totally being high, but I feel a little bit high. So
are you thinking about your thoughts and how you look?
Well, I'm just thinking if I just like sneakily, accidentally broke my sobriety.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Or if my sponsee dosed me and broke my sobriety.
No, look, man, there's lab reports that this shit comes with. There's no THC. It's like a thing. It's like it's a new thing, and we're experimenting with it in an open, honest way. And I think CBD is great. It's an amazing. It's done so many incredible things. But then again, like, why am I taking so much of it? To feel something. That's where it gets tricky.
That's where it's probably the mindset a lot. Like it's the addictive mindset.
Yeah, and like, but
well, I think it's because it's taken out of your regular self. You're kind of there's a little bit something going on.
Yeah, but I'm starting to think of it in this kind of antidepressant way, where it's like, okay, if this is serving the same need, if this is serving the same purpose as an antidepressant, I would rather do this than that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is it's natural.
Yeah.
Our body's made for that. Like we have receptors for it.
Yeah, but that's the case with all drugs. But so I definitely
we don't have cocaine
Yeah,
receptors.
you feel it.
But it triggers receptors. You sure?
Yeah, well,
it's not cocaine, but it's some component of the cocaine that there's a receptor there for, or else you wouldn't get you high.
I mean, it would still get you high. I'm talking like our brain naturally produces like CBD and THC, and when you use it, you're using it, and you have to replenish it and stuff. So that's why CBD is so great, because people are afraid of the high. You know, people can't smoke weed anymore because the weed is too strong. And I get, I feel that. Like I've seen people freak out. Like, I get super, I take dabs, so I'm like, used to it or whatever. But you realize these people, they're not used to this. It's all natural, it's where we're supposed to be, not supposed to be, but it's like we're supposed to be balancing that. With natural foods and stuff, like, you're not supposed to even smoke the shit or even eat it. You're supposed to juice it, really. Like, that's the best way to get the stuff out of weed. You just take a nugget, put it in a juicer, and then it, like, whatever little liquid you get out, that's the best form of the medication that you can get. And it's because it's it's from Earth, and we're from Earth, so our brains are made to, just like potassium from a banana, we need that. Like there's the CBD in the cannabis, we need that just as much.
So you're saying if you don't ingest it, then you'll be deficient in it?
In a way, yeah. But I don't think it's something that you like need for, forever. Like you definitely, it'll make it better. You'll be more healthy, but there's people that go their whole lives not eating like vegetables ever, except for like as the seasoning on their meat. So like they're lacking, like that's, people go bald because of a lack of iron. So like, it's just another component in the many things that people should or shouldn't be doing with their body.
I totally feel that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it gets you high right now. Just on the record, it gets you high.
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Okay, but this feeling that you have, right? Mm-hmm.
It's really changed my perspective.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But you're associating this feeling with high because it has certain elements and attributes that remind us of the THC thing, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not because you're fully coherent. I don't know.
I disagree.
Right.
I totally disagree with that. Yeah, all of it.
Well, and I think there's
because if it's making you feel different, it's getting you high. It doesn't matter like natural, not natural. If you feel some components and you don't feel others,
you drink a big glass of water at the right time, you're gonna feel different.
Not like this, no.
Or coffee, or
coffee,
cigarettes,
caffeine's definitely
the vape, or the cigarettes.
Well, then I guess it's like levels and degrees. Like, so you don't think it's getting you high or giving you a change of perspective?
It is, and I will bottom out on it the same way I do with coffee.
But you don't think it's like taking a drug?
So right now you're feeling the first. Like I remember when I first felt it. It was so intense. I just wasn't expecting it to be that intense. And I talked about it. I was like, dude, it feels like I'm high, like it really does, And then as I got more used to it, I realized, wow, like it's CBD. It's not, it's lab tested, 0.3% THC. It's there's labs and doctors, and it's legal, and it's like it's sold at fucking Rite Aid.
Okay, so I'm wondering if it's 0.3 THC, then the amount that we're taking, how much THC is that we're ingesting? Like that I just ingested.
Maybe the smallest amount.
Maybe there's enough to, you're not
right. That's kind of what I was thinking too.
If you don't have any, because it's supposed to. It's supposed to like go with THC. You're supposed to. Like,
here's the thing.
Yeah, but if you're sober, you can't do that.
But here's the thing, dude. You got people in the program that are doing it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, that's why I'm was open to it, and I feel
that's why I'm trying to open this conversation up, and that's why I wanted you to feel it, because I think it's important, and my mind's running a little with it. I'm running a little.
Well, from the way I feel right now, I mean, I'm fucking high, so my perspective has changed, and it feels like I'm having a debate, and you guys are trying to convince me, whether you're aware of it or not, for the drugs, and I'm here saying, whoa, I had no idea, and I'm like against it.
Right.
And like, definitely high.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I don't think I broke sobriety because I had no idea that was going to happen, because I've tried CBD and it's done nothing.
Well, dude,
but I think the amount that you gave me, or something. So now,
we're playing. I'm trying to play with it and see what it is, and see whether it's something I should be playing with or not. And I've been asking you for weeks now, and you're like, whatever, it's chill.
Well,
so now you understand.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's not. This isn't an illegal substance, right? This isn't like.
Well, that's not. Yeah.
So what we're playing with here is like.
It's not legality we're worried about, though. It's our sobriety.
No, but what I'm saying is we're not like taking some new drug that's, this is something that's. We're just trying to get to the truth of it. Mm-hmm. Whether this is this feeling that you're feeling. Are you associating that with being high, and it's just some new thing that humans have extracted from a plant that is actually okay? Mm-hmm. And some people online are talking about that feeling you feel is actually just the absence of anxiety.
Interesting.
And I'm like, yo, I'm just got put on antidepressants. Like we're struggling over here sometimes, with our mind. And I feel like this has made my life so much easier. I've been so much less like controversial and like irritable with people, and I feel like I've just been more, although today my head was kind of going a little bit, but I don't know. I'm trying to have an open mind with the whole thing. But you're like, right now on this podcast, you're experiencing I'm
in such a different perspective, because I'm like, why are we still talking? Like, what's even the point? Like, the Billy that I knew 30 minutes ago is gone. And who's talking now? I don't even know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you like a self-aware and like very...
Well, all kinds of things like, fuck, I just got fucking high, or what's the deal? And here I am on podcast talking while I'm like losing it. Like, I don't even know who I... And then you think it's funny, but
no,
I don't know if it is.
It was exactly what I wanted to happen, so we could talk about this on an open platform about
And I'm not going to get upset, because that's going to be pointless, but there's also that element.
Mm-hmm. Upset, but why would you?
Because I'm high, and you knew I was going to get high. You made me get high.
Yeah, but like, is it? People have been telling me that it's not high.
It could be. Well, I don't know,
bro. I told.
Are you feeling the same thing that I felt? I mean, you felt the same thing I'm feeling.
Yeah, all day.
All day long.
Yeah, for the past week, 2 weeks. Every day. But I mean, I've some days not as intensely as other. Like yesterday, I only had a couple droppers. I didn't really feel it. My tolerance is going up. But today I had like 4 or 5 until I felt it. And then I went to my therapy and I had cotton mouth and
yeah, I have cotton mouth. Yeah. So, dude, to me, it looks clear that we're getting high.
It's CBD.
Well, it's that you're drinking coffee too?
But it might be the doses you're going in. I don't know. I mean, because you have the money. I don't know, like, how many hundreds of dollars of CBD you're going through.
The one you just took, Jesse just gave me.
Oh, he just gave you.
But the one I bought was like $350. It's like pretty expensive, this shit.
Yeah.
But my thinking is like, okay, when I started taking that antidepressant, like I felt very different.
Yeah.
It was like changing.
Well, I just started taking one of those
are real drugs.
Yeah, those are like...
if you ask me, those are the real drugs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's the point I'm trying to make is like, I'm on an antidepressant and it changed how I felt. I felt weird in the head for like a couple weeks. I really did, until my brain changed a little bit. Veronica, Billy is high and he's saying that this is a relapse. Because I have my wife too. She doesn't want me to relapse. I'm talking to a lot of people about this. You know what I'm saying? Jesse's giving it to me. And Jesse told me, you're going to feel high. You're going to get the munchies. You're going to feel these things. But it's CBD. It's below the legal whatever to be called CBD. You sell it.
Well, I'm definitely high.
Can we get him some water? Because he's getting cotton mouth over here.
Or a LaCroix.
A La Croix. Let me get a La Croix. Let me get one too. Fucking litty to the titty. It's kind of nice though, no? Like, what if this?
Like being high is nice. Of course, I love drugs.
But what if this is okay? What if this is just CBD, and this is something we get to have once in a while?
Oh, I certainly wouldn't want to go to work like this or be around Angela.
Are you sure?
Do I appear high to you? Am I acting weird?
No.
I mean, I just met you, but no.
See, that's no, you don't. But the reason I'm laughing is because I know I understand like where you're coming from.
Well, maybe because you're totally fucking high.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No, I understand where you're coming from because in the beginning I felt so different that I was self-conscious and like hyper aware and like almost felt guilty. And that's why I was talking about it a lot to people. And I was like, and I even asked Tim, like we went to therapy last Monday and it was one of the highest I've been on it. And Tim said, yeah, you seem a little different. Like you seem a little bit less irritable. Mm-hmm. You know? I mean, look, this is as extreme as it's ever going to be, and you'll be chasing this for the rest of your life if you continue to do CBD. And it won't quite be this intense. Like your body is like, oh shit, like you're feeling it, you know? And the reason you haven't felt it before is because you just didn't take enough.
But I've lost my whole inquisitor and all like my whole reason like for even talking on the podcast. Like at first I was engaged and now I just think it's like a waste of time. So
no, I don't think it's a waste of time because we're talking about what you feel, how you feel having taken CBD. And
yeah, so I'm just tripping, dude. The whole thing is really tripping.
Yeah, well, it was trippy to me too, you know?
But the fact that it's on podcast and like I had no idea, like, because I had taken it before and it did nothing.
Right.
So I just, yeah. So I don't know if I could describe how I feel in my head, but I haven't been high in 25 years.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, that's not true. I microdosed, and that gets you high, too.
Yeah. Do you feel any similarities?
But I feel like I'm blowing all my sobriety, because every sober person that listens is like, you're doing mushrooms, and you're high, and all this shit, and I guess who cares, right?
Fuck what they think. We're here.
The fact that it's being recorded on podcast is just double bizarre, because it's forever now going to, unless you don't post it.
I don't need to post it, but check it out. We're frontier. We're truth frontiers.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too.
We're doing the fucking work right now.
This could be for people that are out there sober that are trying to fighting this same question of if CBD is, you know, acceptable or not.
I mean, Alex is over there like this is a good.
Alex isn't sober though, right?
No, but I just recently posted something about the CBD thing, and a lot of people are engaging online. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to read,
yeah, okay, no, I get where you're coming from. Okay, I understand. It's like a new thing. A lot of sober people are doing it. Is it cool? Is it not cool? It's a new gray area. Like it's a new like.
Well, and especially,
and like, you can attest to it. You can attest to how it made you feel.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a witness. Yeah.
It sounds like you got like the good stuff too, because you said, I mean,
I think you gave me like $100 worth of fucking CBD.
No, like 20 maybe.
Well, and I think that's one of the
that's
big.
Only because you got your other thing for free, because you gave me 2 of those and another one. So.
Yeah.
And sorry.
Well, I think one of the things is because they have it at CVS and they have it at Rite Aid. And
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
at
the
Whole
stuff.
Foods.
Oh yeah, that's
the
right.
stuff that the things that you find are the levels of the quality. I think some of the things probably have no CBD in them at all. Just like they just throw it on the packaging and put it on the shelf. And so that's why people are so confused over if this shit really works or not. Because
Right,
they
'cause
get a
it's all
package
new.
or they get a drop, whatever they get, and they're like, I took the whole thing and I didn't feel anything. It's like because you got scammed into buying something that didn't actually have what it said it had in it. Whereas when you get the $350 bottle of obviously
better have
good
something
stuff,
in it, right?
they're gonna fucking
Yeah,
get you the real deal.
It's a trip because this is a new frontier. Like if I was a stoner, I'd just be happy because it's legal and all this shit. But being sober, it's like, whoa, like, and there's all these independent little people selling it. You don't know what doses you're getting and all this. And then
You can get it at the video rental store in gummy, liquid, whatever, popcorn form. Like they
just
got it
CBD
every-
without THC.
What do
or-
you
with
love?
no THC.
Oh,
What do you love about your job?
I love the plants, the life. Like, I just look at that and it looks like art to me.
It is art.
It is art.
That's what he does. He takes care of indoor plants and decides, like, you know, what. Have you talked to Victoria?
Except I'd have a bigger basket because you can see them. I did. I went over there and I felt a little strange. Like I was taking your
Right.
advice and I wanted to go over and hang out and see their property and stuff. But at the same time, I felt like I was trying to make a sale.
Yeah.
So I was kind of pushing that. And
It's cool.
yeah, I mean, it's cool, but yeah.
What?
I guess you didn't realize I was going to stay for the podcast, but
She all right?
well, I better text her in a minute.
Tell her how high you are.
No, dude, you don't understand. That's part of the problem. That's part of the whole breakup. The microdosing and all that, she didn't like that at all.
Well, that's, I mean, bro, you microdosing mushrooms is very different.
Well, this
than
isn't my fault. This
taking
is your
CBD.
fault.
Well, I mean, it's also like, it's just, I think it's just something we have to talk about more. And I don't know what it is that you feel. I know you feel high, but it's kind of what I was saying. Like, I felt like that way too.
I feel high, but it's just the whole change in perspective. Like, I don't have a
that's-
reference to our past relationship right now. Like, all the years that we've
What?
talked. Yeah.
Really?
And
Yeah, that's-
it's probably just because I haven't felt this way in a long time.
That's just
and
a temporary thing. And I think the fact that you have headphones on and it's on a podcast, it's compounding it, which is cool. It's something you never forget. Because we're frontiersmen. We're frontiersmen.
I mean, I can't think of, I don't know anybody that's like been sober for as long as you guys have and is like trying CBD. Like,
Okay, I'm going to give you a really...
like it is really interesting. Like, I'm sure people would be very interested.
Well, I have friends
that.
I'm going to try to tell you why I've microdosed and I'm taking HGH and all that right now. I have a condition, an inner ear condition from head trauma, and or whatever the fuck it's from. It gives me vertigo, and so I never know if it's going to be bad or good, or I can function in a day. And it's so fucking miserable that I heard that microdosing can do neurogenesis combined with, you know, I took niacin and this mushroom, lion's mane's mushroom, and I thought it was worth an experiment. If I got relief and there was some kind of healing from my chronic, so that's why I'm like a guinea pig, and I've tried that, and
I feel like you haven't had a breakout,
I have been for like the last week. It's just not really bad.
but it's not as bad.
Like I could function, like I can drive, but it's scary.
Isn't that kind of incredible?
Well, I spend a lot of time where I'm okay. So, yeah, it's incredible. Like every day is a miracle for me that I can function.
But what I'm saying is I don't think that, you know, because I think the results of doing something like that aren't going to be like apparent right away. You know, I think if we were drawing conclusions, we might say that, you know, after you did that, you haven't had an outbreak.
Well, I suspect if you were going to get some kind of result, maybe you do it for a year or something.
Yeah, you just couldn't keep going.
Like longevity. Yeah, I had to just give it a 30-day trial.
And it was just...
Especially being a sober person. I mean, can I call myself sober if I'm tripping every day?
It was
like-
it was just too heavy.
I mean,
No, I just ran out.
You're not really tripping every day. You're just
It's really like I think that it's also like it could be an antidepressant at a low dose like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't.
Like
I feel like
Zoloft
I get
or-
more fucked up. I've microdosed I mean, usually the doses got a little bit too big to be called a microdosing. But even so, like even the small dosages, I feel like I get more fucked up when I take pills than, you know, on any even amount of mushrooms I've ever taken. Like the right Xanax at the right time of your day or whatever, like you're more fucked up than anything. Like,
well, yeah, but that's not okay either for us. You know, I mean, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I was pretty excited, you know, just to kind of to have something else that's actually not like bad for me that can give me a new perception. Because that's really what it's doing. Like Billy's right. Like I spent a day with my partner Tim. I went to his house and you know, we talked some business with some guy, and then we went to therapy together, and then we went to a meeting, and then we went to a movie, and just that whole day, I just feel like like what Billy said, like I feel like I was a little bit of a different person on some level, but not entirely, just a little bit more.
I do entirely.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
I'm like,
but what I'm saying is that it was a better person. It was a person that wasn't as irritable. It was a person that was receptive and inspired and listening and more loving. And I don't know. It just felt like there's a lot of good things that come out of this. And I felt.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not addictive and you don't start doing, you know, drug addict behavior, maybe.
I mean, yeah. Ultimately, it hasn't been proven to lead to any.
Yeah,
you know,
but I'm just not convinced that it's not, because you said it earlier. It's a mind function,
Right.
So if you're gonna, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really argue. I can only argue against it because I feel high right now.
Right.
So maybe after a few days or something, you don't feel anything, but I had no idea that I was going to feel high.
Right. Even though I told you multiple times.
I just thought
and that's what I'm saying,
because you said you
though.
do, but you don't really.
Okay, but
and
that's
it's like this, and so I didn't understand that you're like.
But that's what I keep telling everyone. Like I kept telling everyone, like I'm fucking straight up high.
But then you keep doing it. Why?
Because everyone keeps telling me it's CBD, it's chill, it's fucking doesn't have any THC, it's fucking, and I'm like, I really want to fucking, you know, I want to be able to do this once in a while, you know?
Sorry to bring you in. This is like a sober war now or something, and you're not a sober person.
No, I mean, but I definitely have. I've been in experience with the sober, non-sober living or whatever for years now, and I don't know. I feel like it's you give the power to make anything feel like it is anything. Like
that's another thing that a lot of people have been saying is there's a placebo effect happening with this shit, where like you are feeling something, but because your mind is relating it to THC and weed and
you want
so
something.
Long.
Your brain is like, I'm supposed to be feeling this, so let me just make it myself
exactly.
feel this.
And you're so me and you are so
because I had no like. But I mean, maybe, but no, not what I'm experiencing. It's not placebo.
I don't think it's necessarily placebo. I think it's.
And then your brain says you're high, and you feel high, then you're probably high.
Well, yeah,
for sure.
But I was saying more so it's the power. Like if you think that you broke your sobriety, that's you that thinks
I feel
that,
like
because that's you just put the power
that's
of that
a judgment.
into it.
That's like a judgment for if I did it or not.
Well, yeah, but it means that like it's all on you, whether it's like you're gonna like make this be the end of it or whatever, or just make it be something that you experienced.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now move.
I didn't do it on purpose, so it's a freebie.
Yeah, and you know now whether you do it again, it doesn't make a difference on the past 25 years unless you give it that power.
No, yeah, I get that, yeah.
And now the party's over.
The party's over?
For me.
Oh, because I'm not going to say that. That's going to have to be up to you, man. So.
No, but like you now understand what I've been feeling. Never in the history of of AA has there been something like this.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Probably
so
not.
we're trying to understand what it is, and I've been telling everyone.
Well,
what
the thing is that I guess it's the peer pressure, because if I hear where you're coming from, people say it's okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I'm on antidepressants.
But
Those change how I
it's
feel.
sort of weird, because I think they're being deceived. Or they're not doing the doses that you just gave me and you're doing.
Right.
Because that's not available to everybody. So they're they're not.
No, definitely not. If you're buying CBD
So maybe
from
what we're
pretty
feeling-
much anywhere, you're not getting good shit.
Well, I just bought some of it online.
Well, good shit, but
But if
you don't want to.
if it's that expensive, and
You
it's
don't do
and
it
online is probably the better place to get it, because you can actually, read more into the product.
But there's the hugs thing. That the last one I gave you is just like, it's like some generic hugs. It's like they make like bath bombs.
And he
like,
said he didn't feel that one though, right?
Well, I have no
No.
idea. I did them all together,
that
so
was
who knows what.
That was the top. That was the cherry on top. You'll probably sleep better tonight.
You'll definitely sleep better. Your bones will feel good in the morning.
It's weird, man.
I hope I don't feel this way in the morning, because I got to
You
go
won't
to
feel
work.
this way. You'll feel better. You'll feel great.
Yeah, and also I've found that I can. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer, I feel kind of bummed out a little bit that I might be losing something that I thought I could have. Because it was kind of like a creative. I found myself, getting. I felt like I'm able to be a little more present, like right here in this moment. Like once you get past what you're feeling right now, and you accept that it's just CBD, you get in the moment.
Well, I'm not. Yeah. So there's a couple factors. One is maybe it's just CBD, and one is how much you're doing. So I don't know. Like if we did a quarter of this dose, it would be so mild it would be like undiscernible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also you were drinking coffee too, so mixing it with coffee and whatever else you had eaten today.
But
and
see,
how much water. you drank.
I'm always only concerned with the most extreme thing. So if I can drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, and vape, and take 4 fucking things, and I'm gonna feel the most. That's what I'm gonna do every fucking time, because that's who I am. We don't fuck around. We don't play games. We go right for the fucking. How do I get fucked up as quickly as possible? I don't. I go to Starbucks and I get the strongest thing they have, and I get 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
No, and
And that's what I've been. My mind has been running with this thing, and I keep telling people in the program. I'm posting it online. I'm like opening up the discussion, and nobody's like, "You better fucking watch out." I'm the only one saying that. But I don't know. It's like like you even said to me, like one thing you said to me in the beginning that really like stuck with me was, "Yeah, I guess you'll bottom out on that too." But I have been a little bit more. Like I've told Veronica, like, yo, like keep your weed. Like I'm a little bit more. I'm feeling like,
like it's not so bad.
Yeah, like I'm kind of like
Just
feeling a little bit weak and fragile, and like I could go for that, and there's some guilt, and it's just a weird thing, man. Like I just I'm actually really glad that we're able to experience this, because I don't think there would be any other way for you to understand.
I think maybe it's starting to wear off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No. This
No?
shit lasts all day for me.
Well,
it goes in waves.
It's
Like
but it's more of an internal thing. Like if you were on like a walk or something, like you would feel it like in like your knees and your elbows. You'd be like, oh, like this shit's moving better. Like I'm just like it's like you get it's like you're oiled
I
up.
I
you
feel
know?
it in my body. Yeah.
It's like the Tin Man just got some fucking squirts.
I
on him.
I don't necessarily feel it like that, but I don't know. I just think that. I guess we.
No,
still,
I get it. It could be a good thing but it's a whole sobriety issue.
Mm-hmm. No, and
I mean, if
see
you were
that.
just a normal person, it'd be great. Or, just not a drug addict or sober person.
Yeah, I guess what it really comes down to is like we're taking more than the.
So that may be the issue.
that's
Like
it.
maybe 100 times more than you need to or something.
We're taking more than the prescribed dose.
That and it also from what it comes from, like you're putting those together. You're like, oh, it's from the cannabis plant, so it's from a drug, from where drug comes from or whatever. But like, it's a totally different part of the plant. It's a totally different section. So it really, they go hand in hand, but that doesn't make them the same. I guess it's like the more natural part, because the THC part isn't, and especially smoking it, that's not at all the way that you're supposed to ingest it at all. Like we're really not supposed to like light flames to anything and inhale them. Like it's just carcinogenic and it's cancer causing. So, but the CBD being so concentrated and liquefied, like that's the closest thing to the hemp that we're supposed to get ingested, and clearly like that's one of the strongest plants on earth. Like you can make rope, you can make paper, you can make clothes, you can make food, you can make whatever. Like, it's got so many different things which make it so strong, which obviously mean that if we ingest the proper part of it, we're going to be getting that good stuff. Like when you eat like watermelons with seeds in it, most of the nutrition, like something like 75% of the nutrition is in the seeds of the watermelon. Or like even like an avocado pit, like you can dry that stuff out, chop it down. I eat avocado pits. I be in there,
I know,
and that's where the majority of the good stuff is.
Right.
So the CBD that haven't been able to get to for so long because we didn't have the technology. Now we're getting in there, taking out the CBD, getting rid of the excess stuff that we don't need, the THC and the whatever else has been put in the mix to grow it, and it's getting straight to the part that like our body wants. And it's like, because even when you smoke it, you're getting high also too from smoking paper and from smoking the leaves. Because like the only part that's medical is like the little crystals in the, like that you got to take off and you got to like turn into medicine. If you're taking the whole plant, smoking the leaves, smoking the stems, smoking the seeds, smoking a piece of paper, or even like holding a flame, right? You're inhaling butane.
He doesn't give a shit about anything you're saying except for that he feels high. Right?
Well, because what you're saying, there's no like,
That's all.
There's no solid data. You're just making a nice argument that you like hemp.
Well, no, I'm saying that it's
Yeah, but there's no facts. There's no.
Well, no, there is.
No, there's not. It's a different. But I'm just hearing an advocate of marijuana. I don't hear any cut and dried data of.
No, it's an advocate of natural
remedies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm mentioning,
and I'm all for it. I think
and,
hemp's great.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm sold. Yeah. But maybe I'm not even communicating what I'm thinking, so I don't know.
No, you're just high.
Yeah.
And that's not chill for an alcoholic. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's just like
Veronica,
when I hear
come
people speak now, it's different than before.
Well, yeah, but we get a shift in perception, which is kind of a good thing.
Yeah, but
it's been really cool for me. I don't know, man. Today I was seeing my dogs and my wife, and I was outside in the sun, and I was just. Tim was taking a nap, and I wasn't like anxious or needing to like do work stuff. It was crazy.
No, totally introspective, because I'm having all kinds of weird thoughts that
I
don't even want to say, because I don't want to hurt people's feelings or just sound just nuts.
But that's
plus it comes so fast you can't even iterate it.
Yeah, that's what the thing that I've been noticing is that I'm more aware of like my thoughts, and I'm more aware of like other people, and it just, I think it brings me more. What it's done for me in the past couple of weeks is it has brought me further into the moment that I'm in, and the thoughts that I'm having, and the people that I'm with, and it's crazy. That's why I kind of wanted you to experience it, because in my mind I think there's some parallels to be drawn from this experience and hallucinations and microdosing, and I think it all plays a part in this, like, you know, God gave us certain plants and chemical or you know, things for us to reach oneness and a little bit more of a humble grounded state. And I think that CBD and THC and whatever, all, you know, mushrooms and ayahuasca, I think all those things are different ways for us to shift our perception, which I think is important for humans to be able to do once in a while.
And that's deep too, like to put it, to use a pun, I guess, to eat things actually from the ground really grounds you. Right. Because it's like, this is real. It's not some processed something or other pill, whether it's a pill or food or whatever. You're like, oh, this is from the ground. I'm fucking from something related to the ground. Wherever I don't want to fucking pretend I know whatever, but it is natural. So the closer to naturalness that we can get, the closer to like our true feeling and self we're gonna be. You know, I haven't eaten meat or dairy in, you know, fucking 2-3 years. I've been on this like journey to get to being full vegan, plant-based for 5 years now, and I can say honestly, like, I got a whole new respect for like natural devices, right? You know, like I drink sea moss every morning. Have you heard of the sea moss? It's basically our body's compiled up of 102 vitamins and minerals that we're made up of, you know, from the ground. Yeah. And sea moss is 92 of them. So you drink this sea moss and you basically replenish your whole body with whatever else it's been missing. Right.
So yeah, I have been actually seeing more like Instagram commercials about greens, like, you know, drink the greens and you're gonna get all the natural. Have you seen any of those things? I don't know if that's anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it just makes so much sense, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if sea moss is related to this.
Yeah.
Greens
oh yeah. It's
things.
all part of it. Like you'll get, you know,
what they're talking about on the Instagram ads are, this pack of greens. I have one in the morning with my fucking water, and it gives me all the minerals I need for the day.
So yeah, those are like, I mean, that's like the idea, and some of them might be better than others, and have some more of the natural stuff. But you're not going to get anything better than, you know, going to.
I just think, you know, we're hung up on like a kind of a different thing, like, you know, just being addicts and alcoholics, and you know. But I think that shit, man, I think I just don't know. It's just been a weird journey the past couple weeks, and you were the guinea pig that we had on as a guest when I decided I was going to give him enough to feel it, what I've been feeling. And I knew about an hour into the podcast, it would either hit him or it wouldn't. And because I don't know, there's been people talking online about how, you know, certain people they have a different it hits them differently chemically, and they don't feel it. And it has to do with, like, you know, everyone's different, and it affects everyone in a different way. You know, I've been getting a lot of people like writing me, people that have time in AA, people that don't have time in AA, talking about the benefits, and people that do have time talking about how, yeah, like, it's just, it's just like the one of the ones that really like reacted with me was it's the absence of anxiety that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. That's super interesting.
Although I was kind of anxious today on it, but I don't know what that was. I don't know. That's why I have a sponsor. Mm-hmm. That's why we do this, so that we can talk to each other.
Sorry, man. I mean, this shit gets you fucking high, okay?
Yeah.
It feels like it was last week and it's been 25 years. I know exactly what this feels like.
Yeah. It's like you got high. You haven't been high in 20 years, and then you got high.
Mm-hmm. But it feels like 3 days ago. Like, it's not unfamiliar at all. It's not like...
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I was kind of trying to explain that to people. You know, I was trying to explain this
So the
feeling.
only thing I can think of is the dose is just remarkably different.
It's like more, it's like twice.
Or people are fooling themselves and they're going higher and higher dose, but if they're feeling what I'm feeling, they're changing their perspective, you know? And whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but it gets really fucking weird and confusing being sober and how important that is.
Yeah.
Because if you're using a drug and you...
Is it a drug though?
Oh yeah, for sure it's a drug. It's...
What we've been, me and Veronica and Jesse, and what we've been playing with the idea of is it's sort of like a new... It's like humans invented a new kind of coffee.
It's like a supplement.
Or a supplement that actually does do something incredible that's different than we've ever experienced before. And there's a lot of likeness to the feeling of getting high on THC, but it's different. But I associate all those things with being high the way I used to get high on weed. But it's different. It's a little different.
I wonder if they didn't tell people that it came from the same plant. If they just said, "Here, this is CBD.
Right.
It's like a new thing."
Yeah.
How people would feel, like, would there be a stigma still? Would it be like this whole, argument, or would people just take it or not and just go with it? Because now that it's weed, it's like a whole it's a bigger conversation. It's like, oh, we're getting high, but we're not, but it seems at some point too that people, some people are just doing it to be cool. Honestly, I see it and I'm like, you don't even. You're just doing it because it's the legal. You can go out and on Instagram and legally be like, I'm doing CBD, and it's you can be doing weed too, but people don't like to do that if they're respectable pages and shit. But now it's like a trend almost and it's I think it's being taken way less into the actual medical conversation and the brain conversation, and more into the drug conversation because of its association.
We're taking it there because we're alcoholics, but there are a lot of people Joe Rogan, and he has people on, and there's just a lot of people that are doing, anti-inflammatory. You're using it for medical reasons. I've heard a lot about that too. Mm-hmm. We're just highlighting how it's making us feel, because we're addicts, we're alcoholics, we want to feel different. This is making us feel different. And, I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get that feeling today. That's what I've been living. This is what I've been living. This is the truth I've been living for the past 2 weeks. Trying to talk to people about it, and but I definitely felt exactly how you felt. The first time I felt it was actually probably a year or two ago, when Angelica gave me a pill, and I swear there was THC in that, and I just didn't touch it for a year after that. And then Jesse, Sharin's husband, who's in the program, has been using it more and more, and he's like, dude, it's amazing. Sharin came by with him. Sharin dabbles in it also, and that definitely was a big like selling factor for me, because these are people that are like pillars in the AA community that we're in, and they're both saying like it's all good, you know, and just he even said like you're gonna feel, you know, something. So do you not like it, or?
Well, I could see that it changes my state, so I'm going to go for it because that's just my core.
Right.
Like,
what do you mean?
If I thought if I could convince myself that it was cool, I would go for it.
Right.
Because it takes me out of myself. And
Right.
I'm having a different experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
And I asked my therapist today, like, why do I want to have a different experience so bad?
Yeah,
why?
Thinking about the year and a half that I've gone through, it just seems so strange. Like, why have that ego and the walls and everything? Like, what's the point?
That's what I'm saying,
But we
dude.
do it. I'm sorry, you probably have no idea what I'm talking.
No, but Billy.
No, I'm talking to him. You probably just said it.
But you're also like not talking anywhere near the mic, which is kind of but like, no, but that's what I'm saying is you're able to see. I think it's, dude, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of cool that you're seeing that.
Oh, look, since it was totally accidental, I'm just trying to go with it and be cool and have like an open perspective.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, dude, my mind's just saying bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
To everything that I'm hearing now. And before
yeah.
it just totally changed me. Like, I might be like an asshole now, which isn't good, but
you're
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So, I don't. But you smoke, or you do dabs every day?
Yeah.
And that's like just a concentrated high THC marijuana?
Yeah, it's like it's like hash kind of consistency form, almost, and it can be different consistencies too. But it's basically just like the broken down THC crystals and formed into these dabs or whatever, and then you vaporize them. And there's no flame. I mean, you heat up something to smoke it with, but you're not actually igniting anything with a fire. There's no flame.
But there's smoke.
It's technically a vapor because it doesn't come from lighting something on fire. It comes from heating something up.
Huh.
And
so that's a daily practice.
Yeah, I mean, I take a dab when I wake up. I take one after meals usually, and I don't usually smoke before bed. I might take it, I'll cut it off around like 10 o'clock, 10:30 at the latest maybe, and then I go to bed at midnight or 1, because there's like if you don't stop using THC at a certain time, then you don't get a full like REM rest.
Mm-hmm. And you're able to do that?
Yeah.
Is it like a longer lasting thing than smoking weed?
For sure. Like I can have a day where
Is it like time release or something?
No, it's just way heavier. You take a dab and I could, feel it all day more or less if I time it right.
So you go over it?
Interesting. Well, it just sounds like he's a controlled drug addict to me, but it's just mystifying how he controls it.
Can you talk into the mic?
Well, I mean,
it sounds like a controlled drug addict, which I guess technically may not even be a drug addict, because if they can control it, are they a drug addict? I don't know.
That's kind of what I was saying to him earlier about how certain people just kind of go hard.
Mm-hmm. I definitely.
Well, no, he dabs every day, so he's getting loaded every day.
Yeah.
And the dab, that's not like smoking fucking shitty pot. That's some kind of condensed.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But
Hold on. What do you think, Alex? Is he an alcoholic?
Is he an alcoholic?
Drug addict? Is he like does he have the addictive
I
mind?
think he has an addictive personality.
Yeah.
I think he can, like, if, you know, it's like a lot of people I know, I think we all know, you know, I think at Ridge and just life, you know, go hard.
Yeah. Well, so that's usually a good indicator when you ask someone's really good friend.
I'd be worried about
Yeah, but is he a pothead? So if you're asking a drug addict if their friend's a drug addict, you know, they might not recognize.
I mean, look, it's a self-diagnosed disease.
Right.
So
I'm just saying.
These guys, they dabble, you know, Tim dabbles, Smalls dabbles, you know, but they're not Wickham and Nate. Like Wickham and Nate have admitted we're alcohol and their lives have become unmanageable. Like,
I mean, I
but it's all
definitely
like-
went through the unmanageable times. Like I've been thrown out, kicked out. I've gone through it. Like
only time will tell.
But I definitely.
Me and Billy are saying.
But even these two, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a self-diagnosed condition, so their lives could be a lot. Who knows, right? It's so weird because it's all like self-appraisal and self-diagnosis, and like, so your conception of handling it or success is just your conception of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think now I'm going into some weird shit, but like how we see it might be totally different, right? So
Right, but the point I'm making is that they haven't hit their knees and their life hasn't become unmanageable to the point where they're like, I can't do this anymore. Surrender.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is the difference, and
That
it's
is.
like it's a tricky thing to talk about because these are things that exist in everyone. What we have to the extreme, it's just. That's why it's gray, and that's why I like talking to Sharin because it's trying to just further
the fact
investigate
that
this
Sharin,
thing.
that gives it a little plausibility, or what do you call it, credibility for me, because I don't know Jesse that well, but I do kind of know Sharin,
Yeah,
and so that is.
I kind of feel like I want to call Jesse and really talk to him about it because you got to look out for. You know, each other, and I figured out a really good name for this episode. Pat's sponsor of 25 years sober relapses on air.
That's pretty wordy, though.
Pat's sponsor relapses. Loses 25 years because of CBD. No, it's
Or did he lose?
yeah, it's just such a no. He didn't because he's taking something that's legal that has zero, that's like lab certified that I've been taking, that Jesse, that a lot of people in AA, we're trying to explore. Like I even talked to Rob when he called, and I was like, dude, I feel something, and Rob went into this whole thing about.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I just don't know because, yeah.
Yeah, you feel it's different. It's something.
It is something.
It's something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
It is so bizarre to me right now. It just seems cut and dry, but I guess.
right? Yeah, it felt that way for me too, because you have to consider, and you'll have more clarity on it tomorrow, and we'll talk more about it. In the
Yeah, for
future.
sure. If you talk to me tomorrow, I'll be Billy again.
Yeah, but even now, like you're still Billy, and I think it's interesting. That
I don't
you're,
feel.
right. I don't know.
And I feel like I got like a mean streak that I'm holding back.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you want to say? Say it.
I don't. No.
Why not? I mean, do you think it would be appropriate to say whatever you're thinking? You're thinking me. I tricked you. Or...
No. Maybe a little bit, but no. Like, it just seems like everything that both of you are saying. I could look at it a few ways, but
Right.
you're deceived.
Uh-huh.
And you're you're like the devil on my shoulder trying to convince me of in the very subtle, sneaky way, and everybody's doing it and all this,
Right.
and then and then I have him who's not sober, so he has his whole take on everything, which is just cool, but not serious. Like what we're like our lives are on the line. You know what I mean? Like,
and to be totally honest with you, I know that, and that's why I need like a wingman
and
here. And I'm sorry to put you in this position, but I just felt like it would be the only way that we would be able to get clarity on this.
This reminds me a little bit of Ari dosing. You know where that comedian Ari dosed his friend? You didn't hear about that? He gave him DMT.
Oh, like Joe Rogan's friend?
Yeah.
Ari Schiffer?
Yeah. And he dosed, he didn't tell him, and he dosed his friend at his house on a podcast with his whole family, and it was like not cool, and almost broke up their friendship and all this stuff. And
he had him smoke it?
he put it in his drink.
Yeah, that's different.
No, it's different. I'm just saying it reminds me of that. I keep hearing that scenario because I listen to the podcast all the time.
You willingly took it, and I even told you like you're gonna feel it, and I feel like there was even a part of you that was like, I kind of hope I do. Like,
oh, I do.
You didn't think it was gonna be like
no,
this.
I thought it was complete like fantasy in your head bullshit because I took it. I just didn't. I think either the amount you gave me or I would just.
So I think that's the one big takeaway here, which is pretty fucking obvious. It's pretty simple. I don't know why I'm dancing around it. We're taking more than what they say to take. And if you take more than what they say to take,
of anything,
Advil or NyQuil or anything.
Well, you'll die if you take too much of that stuff.
But
we could drink that whole bottle. We'll wake up in the morning.
Right, but we can't drink that whole bottle because if we do that, then now we're. But I mean, that's the thing though. Is like, I'll pound fucking energy drinks, and like I remember when Redline came out, like I was getting that shit. Like I bottomed out on that. I bottomed out on Starbucks. I bottomed out on espresso.
Yeah, but this is particularly like interesting because now I know in that cabinet right there is my ticket back to wherever I am. Nowhere land, which man, you just crave because it's not just nowhere land, but this perspective on things too. Like my battle with Angela and everything.
Yeah,
seems like bullshit, just like what you guys are telling me. It seems like all this bullshit.
Okay, but hold on a second.
And then I hear a little truth here and there, but then I can't tell if even my shit's all bullshit.
Okay, yeah,
it's all bullshit.
Yeah, that's now you're tapping into what I was thinking about when I was feeling it. Like, but I think that's an important thing to explore a little bit. Is this thing about this all being bullshit? Like, it's like we take everything so seriously. And I think that this has allowed me to kind of remove the edge a little bit and allowed me to see what really matters in the moment. And I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're looking at, for me, when I first started experiencing what you're experiencing right now, I was able to see things in a more, I don't know, almost like in just a more loving, like less fear-based, I think I've been really grateful on a new level for like Veronica and the dogs and our love. And like, I don't know, I just feel like maybe you're seeing some truth in your relationship with Angela.
Yeah, but you might see that same truth smoking a bong hit. So I understand what you're saying.
But you didn't smoke a bong hit.
Yeah, but if it's equivalent to a bong hit, then it's the same thing, right?
No.
I mean, if it gets you the same high as smoking a bong hit gets you high, then it's the same thing.
But it doesn't. It's a different chemical release.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just let's put that aside for a second and let's actually.
Yeah, no.
I want to explore how you're seeing the past year.
Like why anything but being kind and loving and grateful? Why?
That's good stuff.
But why? Why does our mind make us live in hell every day?
Because where the world we live in.
And I also think,
I don't think so. I think it's my mind.
Yeah.
Because some people are happy.
Well, but
fear, anxiety, fear.
Or does everybody live in hell every day?
I think so. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people do, and they mask it with drinking and doing drugs and to make themselves seem happy.
Or they're distracted by work and chasing things.
Yeah, exactly.
And earlier today I sat out there, not with the help of some CBD, but maybe not entirely because of CBD, because I'm working on being still and being present in the moment and not living in the future, the past. And I just sat there and I just felt what I think a lot of people don't ever get a chance to feel. Like a lot of people.
Now I see you're saying no anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's no anxiety, but it's definitely a different perspective, because otherwise you're plagued by it. Because there's always stuff you have to do. My list is so long, I could never.
And I'm.
And I don't even know where to go on half of my list.
Like, bro, like,
Right? You're like,
check this out. Like, I don't want to play devil's advocate. Like, I don't want to be the devil on your shoulder. And if we decide that we should throw,
no, I'm just giving you my perspective.
Let me just finish. If we decide that the best thing for my sobriety is to throw all those bottles away tomorrow, then like I want to be open to that, and I want to take sponsor direction, and I want to do that. Okay. That's my goal here. It's not to lie and cheat and figure out a way to, like, I was stoked. Okay. I just want us to try to have an open mind about it.
Okay.
And maybe let's explore how you're seeing your relationship.
Yeah, so you're trying to go to the positive end of all this.
Well,
okay.
yeah, because, dude, like, at the end of the day, this is God gave us this.
yeah. And since you, I mean,
Like,
you guys
that's
both
what I've
said,
been playing with, Billy. I've been playing with this.
Yeah, but that's like, what does that mean? God gave us a lot of things. We also have magic mushrooms and this and that and alcohol.
For sure. But God didn't give us alcohol.
Well, we make alcohol.
God gave us things to make it out of, and then in that same way, God made the cell phone.
But I hear what you're saying. It's an experience, and it
did.
could be positive, it could be negative, and it's definitely a change of perspective. Where I mean, if all you think the kind and loving and stuff is all you ever should be, but you feel it in this. And then you're high. Am I just pontificating bullshit? I don't know.
Well, I think that's something that you should always be aware of. And this is helping you become hyper aware.
But we keep doing it. He does it, you do it, and I do it.
Well, that's what we're here to do, is talk about things that are...
So maybe when you're communicating, it's like 95% bullshit, but you get those few truths in there, and that makes it all worthwhile.
It's not bullshit. It's just like we don't know. Like, a lot of the shit we talk about...
It's not bullshit, but it's like our just personal psychobabble or something, you know? It's like our likes and... Go ahead.
No, I think we're exploring unexplored. You know, we're frontiersmen.
Okay.
We're exploring.
I mean, for real though, like,
you know, and humans. They say in the book. Sorry to cut you off, too. This is just getting really, I think, important, and I don't think you realize, you know, how good this is getting, because it's authentic, and it's the pursuit of truth in a way that's like scary for people that are sober. But you know, it says in the book, you know, maybe one day science will find this cure. It says that in the book. I don't know. Maybe we're arriving at that time. I'm just trying to be like open here. I'm really not trying to. I have joked around with this idea of like, oh, I found a loophole. I found an out. I got this little seat, and I'm playing around with it, Veronica. I'm walking around fucking lit. Like, I'm fucking lit right now. Like, telling my friends that, posting shit on TikTok. Like, this whole thing is kind of, bro, this video has 10,000 views. I just posted it earlier today.
I just took like 4 of these CBD drops because I just want to feel something. I just want to feel different. I just want to feel high. You don't want to feel that way?
No, not today. I'm trying to snap back. Felt way too much that way on Saturday, so now I'm just trying to get back to it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I always want to feel that way, and even if I feel that way, I want to feel more that way. It's a battle in my mind every day. The obsession has been removed, but this CBD oil is kind of fucking with me a little bit. I don't know.
So I posted that. I got 255 likes, 58 comments, almost 10,000 views. And you know, once I have a little, I have to keep going. You got to find a healthy ways to experience high happiness, like ripping around your favorite car, blasting music. I get it. You block out the bad. You also block out the good. That's the sad part of addiction, dude. That is not sober. You can't feel it at all. Okay, I feel you. Keep battling. Jesus loves you. Someone told me once, put the effort that I would have to get a drink and put into bettering myself instead. Hang tough. Feel that right there with you. It's sad. We can't feel good in our own skin. Be careful. THC is what you want. First step. It's just like a lot of people. I don't know any of these people. I mean, when I post something on Instagram, I get like the fucking 5 same comments from the same people. I fucking post this shit. I got over 50 people. I don't know who these people are. They're all engaging in this conversation. Some people are like, I got time too. Some people are like, you can't feel anything. But I think that yeah, the truth is I have to be aware of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And I'm trying to feel something here. And it's not the way that it's not how we're supposed to live. It's not the sober way. We shouldn't be trying to feel chasing any kind of feeling with coffee, CBD, video games, pornography, with any of it.
Yeah, but we do with all of them. So
okay,
that's
so
the problem.
That's my fucking dilemma here.
So everything has
like,
got its own, fucking power and stuff. Like the caffeine, like. I've seen some crazy studies into coffee and caffeine and
okay, but what he's feeling right now is so far past any of what you're talking about. Am I correct?
Well, no,
Billy. I'm correct in saying that.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a complete shift in perspective.
It's totally.
So I know, like working out and endorphins or just those magical days where for some reason you're on the tip, or coffee changes your mood a little bit. But this is a complete, levels and degrees on everything, right?
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing with. That's what I've been trying to figure out is it, and I honestly, because it's legal, because it's non-addictive, because it's CBD, because it's been lab tested, because people are doing it, I'm thinking I need to really explore this. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to just like give up on it after a day or a week. I want to see like what's going to happen.
What I would say is finish out those bottles. If you want like cut and dry, I'd finish off your bottles and don't buy more and see how the difference. Yeah. Like see if you're like tripping or.
And another thing I've been playing with is like, maybe tomorrow I'm just like not going to even do any of them.
See if you start thinking drug addict and you end up doing it. That's.
Oh, no,
I hate to take away candy or something, but if it's truly like addictive behavior.
I have no, I'm going to that cabinet sometimes, but that's just the way we're going to do everything. But what I'm saying is I'll chill on it but my main reasoning for not doing it for a couple days is going to be so that I can do it in a couple days and have the effect I want, because I'll have my tolerance will have gone down.
If we go levels and degrees and we don't trip on our sobriety, I already forgot what I was going to say. So there you go.
Yeah, that happens too to me.
But for you, like being a sober dude, and that's the most important thing, I would not buy more. I would finish that out. I wouldn't try to just cut off either, because that might be painful. I would just finish the bottles and then I still for a while.
Yeah, I would like to just continue talking about it as I'm doing it and finish the bottles and just see how I feel and just I just it's just a weird thing.
It is weird, and I could see how it could subtly like weaken me, right? Yeah. Like you hear about those people get back surgery and then later, a couple years later, they're out.
Yeah.
Like, there's also levels, degrees with that. And, like, do we really know how much of a handle on things we have or not? I mean, no, probably not. Because if we're drug addict, the shit we did, we are definitely not in control. We may think we are, and that's kind of like the issue, but then maybe we are.
But if you let go of that control, you experience and you feel what you're feeling, and you let go.
Well, I'm just saying, going out back into full-blown drug addict shit.
Well, yeah, but that's why,
it's a slippery slope, but we got to know that, right?
Yeah, but that's why it has been something that I can do, because it is clear. Like, there's a lab test that shows there's no THC in this. I can't.
No, not in that. But would it weaken you to a hit or something in a week? Like, fuck, I did that and this, and let's just see what actual weed,
right?
Like the sneakiness, the subtle.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm talking about it, and it's something new, and I want to be open about it, and I want to be careful, and I want to also experience the benefits of what it has to offer. And I don't know, it's just.
You're still on the antidepressants?
Yeah.
So especially if you can use it as an alternative to those.
I've thought a lot about that. I haven't really been that hungry either. It's weird.
So as you say that, my mother's been on antidepressants for years now. She's been struggling with eating problems for years.
No, the CBD is making me not hungry.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I haven't eaten barely anything all day.
With taking antidepressants too? But you usually eat on them.
Yeah, I have a trouble eating in general, I think. Like, kind of. Like, I'll either, eat a lot because I get hungry, or I'm, not hungry, and my stomach feels kind of empty.
But I've seen these long-term effects of the antidepressants being way more negative. Like, my mom is starting to get dementia now. She's got a tic. She's not in good shape. And I'm not saying it's totally from the antidepressants, but had she been able to not take antidepressants back in the 80s or whenever she started taking antidepressants, and was able to do CBD alternative and lean more onto that, who knows?
This weed shit is a trip. It's just a trip, dude. Because Veronica, she just fucking smokes every day. She's all good. Salty. I know people that just fucking smoke all the time, and they're fine. It's not tearing their life apart. It's just a different thing. And we're now we're playing with even a smaller thing off that thing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to keep trying to convince.
Keep talking about it. It's
yeah, it's just a new thing.
The fact that you guys are aware, I think, is huge.
And we're trying to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and that's the big problem with addicts in the first place, is that they're not honest.
Right.
So as long as you continue to be honest, you're retaining a good amount of control.
Yeah, and this guy's being super honest. He's just no, this is fucking off. And that's kind of how I felt about the ayahuasca thing when I went. I did it. I never got a chance to tell you what actually happened. Was I went, and what I got from that experience was which actually, if you didn't tell me to do that, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So in
Sorry
some ways
about that, but I think maybe it needed to happen because you did it and you were like, nope, that ain't it. And so
I think so too. And I think now,
but then I could see hard, Big Book Thumper saying, you guys are so full of shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Boom, boom, boom. It's like this or it's like that. And we're all willy nilly and gray, which I'm kind of cool with.
Yeah. We're pursuing some real truths. We really are, with humility and courage. And I think that's what we're trying to do. But I was shown that I'm actually on the right path in AA, practicing certain principles: love, courage, faith, humility, open-mindedness, service, love. Just that, I'm already focused on the right things that I need to be focused on. A lot of these people here are lost. They're coming to this retreat because they're fucking lost.
I think it's going to turn on.
Whatever they're there for. I wasn't there for that reason. I was there with my wife, who I love. We're great. Everything's fine. I'm sober. So I dipped. I left. I felt like that was kind of a toxic situation, you know. Maybe it would have been different if it was.
I would say that this totally can't work for me because I already want more because it's went away a little bit.
Right.
That's how much of a
Yeah, but you're just in your head, you know. And I've been in and out of my head a lot too during this.
I'd be like, well, fuck, I already fucked up. Why don't I just go?
But see, that's not the truth.
Isn't?
No, we didn't fuck up because we're trying. We're not going and behind anyone's back and like doing something, some illegal drug. You know, we're not.
Well, no, not like that, but just fucked up. Like, I already accidentally had a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, but you know what a shot of whiskey does.
Right. I didn't know coming into it. I'm just saying how I feel like I want more already.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm just expressing.
Well, look, you live around here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have you on again. We're going. We just went into a whole nother dimension here. I just want to pause it. You know, we'll pick it up again. I'm gonna talk to Billy off the fucking thing here. Maybe have a cigarette. I don't know. Put on some Dire Straits or something. I don't know. But I don't know if anyone has had an experience with CBD. You know, write me a comment.
Yeah, turn down the lights and put on music. That sounds.
Yeah.
You got the website, merch coming?
Yeah, I mean, we got some merch coming, and this is Learning to Lose. This is a whole brand, and we're the new frontier, the new pioneers of this new frontier of truth and loss and emotional intelligence. What? Dude, thanks so much, bro. Do you have anything you are like promoting or music or anything on the website?
Just check me out, Ludlow on everything.
Oh, cool.
LUDLOW.
Oh,
I got music. I got
LUD.
LOW.
Ludlow. LUDLOW.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening.